Ice and flames call my name. I freeze, I burn, I blame. I love, I hate the same. It's on my face, I cannot hide from the mistake my parents made. I'm never moving on. Not made from love, a remnant of a selfish motive. Was I needed? Do I need it to go wrong? Polarized inherent pain, pumping through my veins. Ice and flames call my name. I freeze, I burn, I blame. I love, I hate the same. If I embrace the side of me, I only fuel the fire. But is it wrong for me to fight against the balance of my power? History in halves, one brain. I will break the chain. Oh no, どこには呼ぶ燃える裏目凍ると僕の愛と嫌いにいる Oh no どこには呼ぶ燃える裏目凍ると僕の愛と嫌いにいる I love, I hate the same.
Good morning. It's Saturday, and let's hope I've got everything fixed. I worked on this thing yesterday. Lord have mercy. Anyway, so I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're going to just get right into it. I don't know if how many of you guys were on Ziley's stream last night, but Matthew, or as Ziley calls him, Mattis Pittis, but Matthew impugned the character of yours truly. He called me a fibber. He said that the truth did not exist within me, because he has been going on this whole thing about how, well, as you know, Ziley declared war, right? She declared war against me, which I don't really know why. I got caught into the fracas, but whatever, or fricas, or whatever it's called. But she declared war against me. She declared war against Dave. She declared war against Matt Pitt and the Now Recording guys. I mean, she just declared like just war, right? And I sacrificed what I thought was a great amount, and I did a little dance, did a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. So I did this, right? I thought, well, that Paul's pulsating hips of love would be enough to avert this catastrophic event. And it was. It satiated her hunger for just a little bit, but then it rose its ugly head again. It rose its ugly head again, and she said that I was no longer exempt and that I was back in it again. And I was like, oh boy. Well, here we go. All right. So the art war of 2023 commenced. And let's just get into this. Is not part of the art war, but this is just something that was kind of comical and and very true. They domesticated, ancient man domesticated the dogs, and now they fall around chasing them with the little bags scooping up their poop. So yes, who's domesticated who, right? Anyway, the Great Art War 2023 commenced, and the first artist that was on record as being dragged into this was Shanri, and she drew the now infamous unicorn, what has been called the unicorn pick. Now, Matt took exception to this, and he said that this was not a unicorn head, that this was actually a penis with a sock on it. And there was great debate at some length last night during Zali's stream, her community recap, that I was fortunate enough, because I drank coffee yesterday evening and it kept me up. I was able to actually attend a live Zali stream, and it was quite enjoyable. I really had fun. But anyway, this is this is, I guess, ground zero, right? This would here. And, it's a beautiful picture. And Shanri is a very talented artist. I do think maybe possibly she was extremely generous with the whole 6-pack up on these abs. But anyway, it's a peanut corn. So is that what they're calling peanut corn? Well, peanut corn, I'm okay with that too. We call it a peanut corn, sure. The only thing that I really noticed was, so it's a sock. Well, that's not a sock, right? Because I mean, you look here, the sock on Matt's leg is quite lengthy and stuff, and this I think it's a winky warmer. And that is a real thing. You guys can look it up on your own time. It is a winky warmer. So that would lend credit to what Matt was saying about it being a penis being drawn from his. But the good news is it's a good, stiff, strong penis, and it's not flaccid and flopping over and hanging down between his eyes. So, I mean, there is some good to this, right? But Matt went on and on. Is like, okay, well, Shawnery is a turncoat, right? Well, then next, Rump. So Rump drew this. And I think this is a very, very tasteful. It is like a pencil, right? I guess what I'd call pencil art. I don't have the proper term for it or not. But it is definitely, it is a very good drawing. Very voluptuous breasts, some 3C thick thighs. I mean, it's not too shabby. I thought it was really good. It was very well done. Matt, once again, was a little bit, I think, taken aback. He then lumped Rump right in there with Shanry and said, they're, turncoats and stuff. And, but he started climbing a hill. He climbed this hill and he said, squatching, squatching is untouchable. So then squatching became the great white whale, if you will, right? So then people started going after squatching, trying to get squatching to commission her, because squashing, let me tell you something, squashing is also at a very, very see, we are blessed here in this community. We have some extremely, extremely talented artists, right? We have Shanry, and Shanry does beautiful work. I mean, we got the Peanicorn, right? The Peanicorn artwork, which was beautiful. And then we had the Rump and Dump, right? Which was within its own right is very stylistic and very, very, very beautiful, right? And how she, if you notice how she's got this come hither look in Matt's face, where it's enticing. It just draws you in, right? And then this one came out yesterday by Mishy, and my Lord in heaven, y'all. Now, Mishy, she didn't even play around, y'all. She did not even play around. She, flat out says, has Matt here saying that, she wants you inside them. I was like, whew. I was like, whew, mercy sakes alive. Then she adopted it a smidge and says, subscribe to the Now Recording Podcast for me. And so, once again, very talented artist, very, very, no ifs, ands, or buts are about it, right? But then last night on Zadi's stream, and Zadi can back me up. She 100% can back me up on this. I told Matt, I said, Matt, I have been given, I don't know why I was selected, but I was. And in this, I was given an art piece that was commissioned by the very lovely and talented Squatchin. Now, this was the one artist that Matt said would never, ever, ever, in a million years, ever would she do an artwork on Matt. And I said, Matt, I called in and I said, Matt, you're wrong, because I have a piece of art that Squatchin did, commissioned. Now I said, now here's the thing. I was sworn to the utmost secrecy. And one thing that I will tell you is that when there's people say I'm evil. There's some people out there putting forth this narrative of how I'm an evil person and how I'm stuff. And listen, I like to trolls a little bit. I admitted that right up front and foremost. I love Jesus, but I loves to troll a little bit. I trolled Dave hard when I first started coming around, hanging out with Dave a little bit more, just to kind of reintroduce myself to him, because I kind of felt like he'd kind of forgotten who I was. And I did. I trolled Dave. And when I trolled Dave, we got the famous...
you want to see my breaker?
Because, going through your day and not hearing...
You want to see my breaker?
I think your day is just not complete. It's just not fulfilled, right? And so anyway, when this person came to me and they said, "Hey, we've got this artwork, and we want you to show this piece of artwork, and people, we trust you to deliver this and to give it the fanfare that it deserves." And I was like, okay, I can do that. Sure. I can 100%, give this the fanfare that it deserves. Yeah, I can do that. Well, yeah, no problem. And so, you know, I think I beat around the bush long enough, right? You guys ready? Are you guys ready to see this? Because I'm sitting here looking at it right now, and I'm gonna just tell you right now, I was taken aback at how beautiful this is. This is truly artistic. I honestly believe that this needs to be. I don't know what the proper term is, but they hang it up at a museum, right? This needs to be put up. Show the pic. See, I think you're a little okay. Here's the. I probably really need to because with my luck and the way things are, So here we go. Ready, guys? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Boom. There's the artwork. This here is a Squatchin original. What do you think, guys? What do you think? Do you think this is? I mean, I think this is. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. And I think this shows a way back to peace and tranquility and maybe possibly an end to this war. We've got the ever sexy, I guess, Matt Pitt, right? Being served grapes by the lovely and gracious Xylee, showing that they have found a way to mend a bridge, to come together, right? Because love will find a way. If it's given a chance, love will find a way. And yeah, Mitch says he thinks the bulge needs to be bigger. I don't know about that, buddy. I don't know. Matt himself says he's definitely not a shower. He didn't say he wasn't a grower. He just said he wasn't a shower. But um, one of the things, that Matt was really quick to point out that was a problem with Shanri's was she had the amputee leg on the wrong side. He says his leg that he lost was actually on his right hand side. And if you notice, so the note to detail, right? The note to detail is there. Now, I just want to let you guys know that this artwork will be published to Twitter after the stream. It will be put out there for the masses because I believe that this is artwork for the people, and I believe that this is something that needs to be put out there and in the hands of everybody, right? So I think at this point, I believe one Matt Pitt owes Peepaw an apology because he said that Squatchin would never do something like this, and that Squatchin would not take a commission like this. And I think this is proof evident that she did. And yeah, so Matt, I will accept your public apology at any time because while Peepaw is a lot of things, Peepaw is no liar. I don't lie. Because I find that the truth is far more interesting than telling lies. And it's been my experience that when you share the truth and you get it out there in its raw form, that it always generates more of a response than a lie. So, Beaver, you're the best looking. Beaver, I am a little taken aback that there hasn't been more artwork done of Beavers because Beavers is a classy dude. I like Beavers. I mean, he's got that accent that is just. Who commissioned this? Zali, I can't tell you. I gave my word as a gentleman that I would never, ever, ever tell who commissioned this. I won't. and I will never tell. But what I would suggest or recommend is the best way to fight fire, as they say, is with fire. So what I would say is go to Shanri or go to Rump Dump or Mishi or Squatchin and go to these very very extremely talented, lovely ladies and commission them. Get your own art pieces because I'm getting a sense, I'm sensing a disturbance to where I because I really think the person that commissioned this was their heart was that this would put an end to the art war of 2023. But I'm sensing that just the opposite. This is not going to do that. This is not going to put an end to this art war. And so, if that's the case, and if it must, then what we need to do is we just need to feed the flames. We need to feed the fire, and we just need more commissions. That's the only way. We have to let this run its course. And I'm sitting here. I'm just really drawn in. Let me zoom this up here a little bit. Let me slide this over here just a smidge. I mean, guys, is it me? Or does Zali not look like she's it's like she's in ecstasy? I mean, am I wrong? Or does she not look like there's nothing more that she would be wanting to do right then and there other than to feed Matt Pitt grapes. The only thing else, maybe possibly, is that would make this better,
Daddy Matt,
is if she was sitting there saying,
Daddy Matt,
maybe some,
Daddy Matt.
yeah, I bet you that's what she said. This picture, right? To me, that's what she's saying when she's feeding these grapes to Matt. She's sitting there going,
Daddy Matt.
Daddy Matt. I really think that's probably. I think so. Daddy Matt. Yeah. What do I know? Look? I'm just a humble guy who likes to have a few yucks at myself, at others, and so anyway, I just think it's beautiful artwork, and I think there's love, true love that is in this photo, this picture, this masterpiece that probably should be hung in the Louvre for the world to really, appreciate its beauty and its grandeur. And yeah, matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do right now, yeah, because I think we need to do this right here. The long awaited art piece. I can't spell to save my life. That Matt Pitt said didn't exist. I will accept my apology now, sir. And I'm going to go right here, here, here. And tweet that. Yeah. There you go, guys. Boom. I've sent it out there. It's there for you guys to enjoy, to love, to appreciate. Share that around. Let the world know the greatness that is Squatching. I just, yeah. But I think we owe a big round of applause, right? A big round of applause to these artists because they're out here doing the Lord's work. And I think you guys probably would concur, would you not? Okay. Um, so let's get into yes, bravo. Yes, bravo. Exactly, Gracial. Bravo. Bravo. 100%. Yes. Um, okay. So now that we've got Pitchergate settled and put to bed, and I will be waiting for Matt Pitt's apology that I am rightfully owed here. I just hope somebody has some hot sauce or something to help Matt chew down that crow that he's got to eat. So anyway, yeah. So we got some news. So Daily Loud is reporting that PlayStation made around 8.8 billion more than Xbox in 2022. And I find that kind of interesting because all I ever saw all last year was about how nobody could get either one of those consoles. So that's kind of, I'm kind of taken aback because I know there was more people struggling to get the PlayStation 5. But here's the thing too, that they say that PlayStation period. So they're not necessarily, I guess, talking about the PlayStation 5 or in contrast to the Xbox. I don't think. But yeah. Anyway. So Keemstar tweeted this out yesterday evening, and he said TechCrunch is getting hate for attacking Mr. Beast curing blindness video. And in this article, the headline says Mr. Beast blindness video puts systemic ableism on display. Let's see. TechCrunch, Mr. Beast. Let's see if we can find that. TechCrunch, Mr. Beast. Well, it's the first article. Yay. Let's read what this, let's see, who was it? Stephen Aquino. Let's see what Mr. Stephen Aquino. Do we have a picture of Mr. Stephen Aquino? Let's see what other things. Anyway, I don't see nothing there real quick. I'm not going to deep dive into this too far, but let's just see what this says. Recently, megastar creator Mr. Beast posted a video in which he spotlights numerous blind and visually impaired people who have undergone a surgical procedure that cures their blindness. As of this writing, the video has been viewed more than 76 million times, and the responses have been visceral in both praise and contempt for his part. Mr. Beast has taken to Twitter to publicly bemoan the fact that so many people are angry at him for putting on what amounts to a publicity stunt under the guise of selfless charity. What amounts to a publicity stunt under the guise of selfless charity. The truth is straightforward. The video is more ableist than altruistic. Before delving into many layers of why the video is troublesome, it's important to issue a caveat. However problematic Mr. Beast's premise in producing the video, the people who participated, the patient, and their doctor should not be vilified. They made the decision to go through the surgery on their own volition. The reason behind making that choice goes far beyond the scope of this article. In the broadest lens, the biggest problem with wanting to cure blindness is that it reinforces a moral superiority of sorts by those without disabilities over those who are disabled. Okay. No, Wookie, sadly, this is not satire. This is not satire in the slightest bit. So here's the problem with this article, Mr. Stephen Aquino. It's quite obvious that here's the problem. I am blessed, right? I don't have any disabilities that limit. Okay, I have rheumatoid arthritis, but I don't and yeah, there's days when it limits what I can do and stuff because the pain is too much. But I don't, day in and day out. It's not something that prevents me from doing and living and doing as I want to do. Right? I'm not, you know. But when you have people that are visually challenged, right, because of cataracts or other type of conditions like that that can be easily reversed by a 10-minute operation that improves their life tremendously. Okay. I watched the video and I saw a man who broke down in tears because he was able to see his son. I saw another man break down in tears because him gaining his sight back allows him to go back to work and to be a productive member of society again, because the type of work that he did was dependent upon him being able to see. And as his cataracts got worse, he was not able to do his job. He wasn't able to provide for his family. I seen a young man whose life goal and dream was he wanted to be able to drive, right? Because driving a vehicle gives you a certain freedom to allows you to go and to travel and to do and experience and see things, right? And for hack journalists like you, sir, who come in here and talk about how this is ableism, there are people who are disabled in various states and forms that there is no magic wand that can be waved to lessen their disabilities or to remove that restriction from their lives. And it is something that they have to live with. And I see people that have these type of disabilities that thrive and who excel, and they don't allow their disabilities to define what type of life they have. And I see these people. I can give you a couple of them real quick. One of them is Real Young Crip, and the other one is Ricky Berwick. And when these people, I see people come after them and attack these two gentlemen who have, extreme limitations in their lives. Attack them because of their disabilities, because they refuse to allow their disabilities to restrict them. I don't understand this mindset. It's almost like, to me, it's almost like this. There is a portion of society out there that wants to take people who have disabilities, right, who have challenges in their lives, and they want to put them over here in this little box, and they're quite content with allowing them to live and to exist and to do these things. And they want to march them out every so often and say, oh, look here, I'm raising money for this organization or that organization because it helps people with these disabilities, and look, here's this person with this disability, and and so by raising this money, it gave them these certain abilities, and it gave them certain freedoms and certain things. They could do these certain things, right? They want to march them out and they want to use them as some sort of a display, right? As long as these people march along and the rules that they define. And if you have anybody that comes along and says, no, I'm not going to be put in this little box over here, you're not going to bring me out to clap my hands together and play some cymbals for you like some sort of a dancing little puppet. I'm going to live life on my own means and in my own way, and I'm not going to be restricted. I've seen them attack these people, people like Ricky and real Young Crip, and it's just, I don't know, man. To me, that is I think you're a hack, sir. I think you're a hack, and I think you're just trying was you struggling so hard that this week to come up with something to write about? Do you had to get your 1,000 words in? For crying out loud. Yeah, how dare somebody actually take money through brand deals and marketing and use that money and turn around and use it in a philanthropist way to allow people to receive vision and to better their lives. And he didn't just do it for the people in and around here in the States that was able to get. If you watch the video, he gave additional monies on top of that, which was going to allow people across the world to receive this surgery. So it wasn't just something, hey, I'm going to keep it right here. I'm going to allow this to be given around the world. Y'all idiots. The other day we showed a commercial, because Super Bowl time, right? And we have these commercials, and we showed the commercial that had was it Corner Pops? I think is what it's called. It was a Breaking Bad commercial about that. We have another one. This one is with Doritos. Now, I've watched this commercial, and it's a good commercial. It's kind of funny, whatever. But I think they really messed up on who they selected for this, because I think our own Liana Taylor, right, in our community, who is a well-known champion triangle player, I really think that they should have used her. But anyway, let's watch the video. I will let you guys be the call on this, and maybe I'm missing this.
It's just not right.
Nah, I need to try something new.
You gonna quit rap for a triangle?
I gotta do me, Missy.
No. It's ding, 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 ding. Not ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
See, this is the kind of commercial I think that Rihanna would just love. And I don't know if she saw this or not. I hope she does.
The triangle has replaced the British pound.
Jack Harlow did it again.
Ting, ting, ting.
Triangle by Harlow.
And Triangle Player of the Year goes to Elton John!
Sir Elton John. And I'm not upset by that. I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, I think that's definitely something that I think Liana would really appreciate there. So, there's this social media person by the name of Joy Swole. Some of you guys may have heard of him, maybe not have heard of him. He's in recent days, he's taken to task some of these young ladies and stuff that have painted in I think a bad light. Oh, before we get into Joy Swole, we have a caller. Hey, Beavers, how you doing, buddy? Beavers?
Jesus.
What?
Give me a sec. I was
Okay.
working, and I'm hearing you through both ends.
You gotta hate it when it comes through
Hey,
both
Rick.
ends.
Yeah, it's really not great. What do you prefer, throwing up or shitting yourself?
Which
What's
would
your
I
poison?
prefer? I think personally, I would rather have the backdoor trots.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only answer.
Yes, it really is.
No, I wanted to call in.
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted to call in way earlier because I'm kind of derailing right now. But I wanted to say, Zyla looks so happy when she's submissive to a man. Maybe if she
Well-
was a little bit more submissive, she'd be happier more often. All I'm saying.
So you're talking about you're talking about right here, right? She does have a. You can't see it, so here, let me do this. Let me share this so you can. Let's see, make sure I got the right thing up here. Yeah, right here. So you can see this. Oh, and there's Ziley. Let's bring Ziley in. Hey, Ziley girl, how you doing?
Okay. Let me mute this damn while I'm up in here. More
Hello,
submissive.
kitten.
No,
Hello,
no,
kitten.
that kitten shit ain't working with me this morning, sir. No,
Good morning, ma'am.
no, sir.
What do you mean, no? Look how happy you are.
I'm holding a machete in the other hand.
No, that's grapes, son. Right?
Yeah,
That's-
because you're gonna go do the garden when you're done.
No. The
You're a modern
machete-
woman, Xylee.
Yes, I am.
Isn't the
That's
whole
why the machete
the whole
is on the
thing-
other hand.
isn't the whole thing with women nowadays that you guys don't need men, right? You need to take charge. You need to reverse the wrongs of the past. Plot your own future, plot your own course. Right?
Yes, by getting rid of the men, and that's why I have a machete in my other hand, because it's to draw him in with the grapes and then whack.
See, does this seem like a happy woman to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
She's
sorry.
happy because she's plotting.
No, I don't think so.
That's the look on my face when I plot. I'm telling you. That's the look on my
No.
face when I'm plotting. Press lips, my eyes closed because I know I'm about to go through with it.
No, I think it's bliss. I kind of tend to agree with Beavers on this. I think you're happy.
You've taken away, right? You know, back in the day, there were societal expectations of women, right? And today, much the same. There are societal expectations. And I think you've taken this whole feminism, all of that anger, that pent up rage that women have nowadays, and you just let go of it, and you're doing what nature intended.
Well,
You're waiting on a
actually,
man hand and foot.
no. Wait. I think Squatchin has actually captured the moment right before what women are meant to do. It's the moment before. It's the quiet before the storm.
I don't know where to go with this because when I hear that, I immediately go to sex.
Okay, yeah, definitely not.
Okay.
Oh God, Matt Pitt like that. Ugh.
I mean, he looks like he's like
Not even Matt like that? You wouldn't do Matt like that?
I am a
might
married
do
woman.
Matt
That
like
would
that.
not be
Yeah.
appropriate for me to
would be
answer. Thank
appropriate.
you very much.
She's a married woman and
If you
Now,
happily
if it was,
married.
but if it was like Jason Momoa on that couch, that'd be something totally different.
Well, hold it. Now
We're talking
I'm
Matt
sorry.
Pitt right now.
Zolly, I can't stand in to support you on this. I'm a married woman, so it's inappropriate for me to comment on that. And then
Yeah, because it's Matt Pitt.
yeah, but then you throw out Aquaman like you're going to get all fishy with him.
I get fishy, bubble with him. What are you talking about? Jason Momoa, what?
Oh, God.
And
Lord.
by the way, this image is gonna get Matt extra sympathy. He's not missing that much of his leg. All right, you got more of his leg than that.
So you think? Oh, so is this picture being ableist?
It's propaganda. They
Oh,
gave him abs.
Oh,
His penis is definitely smaller than that. And
See?
the leg
Glammy
is
knows.
too short.
Look, Glammy knows what I'm talking about. I mean, Xylee has all her clothes on. She doesn't seem to have a side agenda such as death to Matt. See? There you go. See?
I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree with that assessment.
And Squatchin said it's a sock in his pants.
Agreed.
Has to
Thank you,
be.
squad. Oh, the knee is bent. All right, I get it.
Oh, it's bent. Okay.
Also, touching on that Mr. Beast thing, right? You know,
Yes, sir.
like that article was saying people are being ableist.
Yes.
You know, I went to one of the many schools that I went to in my youth because I was like in between schools, right? So I needed one just to get through the year,
Sure.
complete my stuff. The school that I ended up going to was a school for it was a government-owned school, and it was for terribly disabled people, burn victims, but poor people, right? That can't afford private education. And what I learned there is that disabled people want to be treated normally, right?
Yes.
They don't want your sympathy.
Nope.
So when I see articles like that, it just kind of pisses me off.
True.
When they try and throw people under the bus for trying to help. I mean, the other thing is, I think cataracts can make you blind, right?
Yes.
It leads to blindness.
Sure.
But I think it's a bit disingenuous to throw cataracts in with the blind people. Do you know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
kind of it results in the same thing,
Yeah.
but it's
You're-
not the same group of people.
I would agree with you. Okay, so that was a little bit of sensationalism on Mr. Beast's part. Yes, I concur. Because I've had family members that have cataracts, and as they get worse, my wife actually has cataracts, and your vision becomes blurry, and if untreated, and if it will get to where you're not blind, but you just can't see. Right? Everything is. It's
like looking through a dirty piece of glass.
Yes,
Is essentially what it
yes,
is. Like
so,
cloudy.
So you do lose some, depending on what your job is, right? So you do lose your ability to work, or you can't drive, or things like that, right? So while you still you can see, a lot of times you can see shapes and movements and things like that. You don't, it's not crisp and clear, right? And so
Doesn't it make them legally blind?
Yes,
Because
legally.
there's
Does it make them
blind.
what?
Yes.
There's legally blind.
There's legally
yeah.
blind.
Yeah.
Yes.
They can't
yes,
drive and stuff like
yes,
that.
Yeah.
Because they can't
so-
see detail. They can see shapes.
Yes.
Right.
But also, the thing about cataracts is it's very unfortunate when it affects young people.
Yeah.
Right? Really, really unfortunate. Because at that point, by the time you're in your 60s or whatever, you're going to have a solid piece of proteins over your iris, right? You won't be able to see. But I mean, it is just the disease of age. It's something
Yeah.
we live longer now. You know?
Yeah.
Just one of those things that's going to happen. It's like an achy back.
Yeah.
Now,
But
normally in most people, right, you don't even need to have it treated.
Yeah.
It will affect parts of your eyes. Your vision will go a little bit like blurry, but most of the time it doesn't need to be treated. So it's also, I don't know. It's just an inconvenience. It's kind of like floaters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What
but
floaters are?
but I'll say this, and I think this was or my takeaway from that video, right? Is in those cases where it is an extreme case of cataracts, right? And there was other things besides just cataracts, right? A simple 10-minute surgery reverses that and makes it to where the person is able to function again, to drive, to work, to do all these things, right? And why is it so cost prohibitive? Well, it's the same thing. Why not talk about the fact that diabetes, right, is a disease that has existed in society for basically, I think, ever, right? But decades now, we've had treatments through insulin and stuff that people can take to help manage their diabetes and regulate it, right? Along with diet, exercise, things like that. But in some case, people, even if they have insurance, it's not the best insurance. And insulin is unobtainable because it's so freaking expensive. Why?
Yep.
Why is this something in this day and age where the pharmaceutical companies have made their money back from their research, right? So now we're just gouging people. Now we're just abusing people. That's my
And
problem.
that's why people go to Canada to get the insulin.
Yeah. It's just that, to me, is problematic. And that's one of the biggest problems with American healthcare. I don't know about other countries. I can't speak to them. But I know, like, for example, I have family members that are diabetic, and insulin is a big cost to them every month.
I think the problem isn't really look from the because I kind of studied in that field. From the pharmaceutical company side of things, right? You have to remember, to get a drug to market when I was studying, right, over the course of its lifespan, billions, right?
I understand that.
Billions. And the other thing is, it's a very long-term investment, right? It takes about, I think the average was it takes about 20 years to get a drug to market, right? Development, then trials, then human trials, and then you put it out. So from the pharmaceutical company side of things, it's a very long-term investment, and you have to show gains on it, right? And then the other thing that you need to remember is a lot of drug. So there's this huge investment that they have, and a lot of the drugs that they make never go to market, right? They are constantly throwing money at them. So there's that as well. Like there's that huge loss of finances that they're having that they have to make up. The thing is, yes, pharmaceutical companies are scummy, right? Pharmaceutical companies are very scummy, but the answer is that the government needs to subsidize, right?
Well, I don't know if
I mean, we do
necessarily.
it here.
I don't.
We do it here. The government subsidizes those medicines because
Well, I
they
don't
are
understand how the exact
for you
same
to.
medicine made by the exact same company can a certain amount of vials say cost $300 here,
Yeah.
and the same company, the same medicine in Canada will be $50. That's why a lot of people who live in the US, if they live that far up north, they go into Canada to get their medication. And it's the exact same medication. Same
I
company,
mean,
same
again,
everything, but it's more expensive in the United States by hundreds of times versus how much it costs going into Canada.
I wouldn't be sure, but I mean, Canada does have a very good public health system. So
Well, they have a
Yeah, but
socialized
that would be
healthcare.
for their citizens, though. These are
Yes.
people from another country going into that country to get that medication. They're not Canadian citizens. These are United States citizens going into Canada to get that insulin because the insulin is cheaper in Canada. It's like same people going into Mexico. It costs less money to go into Mexico, get your teeth done, stay there for a few nights than it is to actually get it done here in the United States. That's how bad it is. That's how bad they hike things up here.
And here's
I
the
think
thing.
the Canada America one is a good example, but I don't think the Mexican one is a good example because that's just dependent on how much they can buy with their money and what someone's time is worth.
Well,
versus somewhere
okay.
else.
So what I'll say
Because your
is,
economies are so different.
what I'll say is I am not anti big business, and I 100% think businesses have to be able to recoup investments because that's what they're there for, right? And by recouping investments, it allows them to keep their employees and making more products and so forth. I understand exactly what you're saying there, Beavers. The problem
Price
is when
gouging.
you have drugs that have been around as long as insulin has, right? So I just looked it up real quick. Insulin was first invented in 1921 in the University of Toronto. All right, the first synthetic, right, insulin was first produced in 1978. Okay, so I think that it's more than safe to say that these pharmaceutical companies have more than recouped any monies that they outlaid on this drug, right, to make it available. Now, I understand what you're saying is they're constantly having to do research to find the next best and best drug, right? But I'm
Yeah.
sorry, when you have pharmaceutical companies that are more, history has shown that pharmaceutical companies have shifted away from like doing things, okay, this is something that's good for mankind and this is something that to treat this or treat that, right? And they basically in a lot of cases have become legalized drug dealers because they've shifted to making these pain management, right? And hence we have the opioid crises that we have now, right here, at least here in the States. I don't know again in other countries, but like here in the States, we have this opioid crisis. So I don't know. I mean, Oh, I think on one hand, yes, I agree. They have to be able to make money to be able to continue to do research, right? To
Oh
hopefully
yeah.
find that next cure for whatever it is. But I think also, I think standing on the back, especially when it's a life saving drug like insulin that has been around since 1921, right? Um, I think that's a bit much in my personal opinion, and I think that there should be something to where that's more readily accessible by people. Um, but that's just my 2 cents on it. So
I
anyway,
think the thing is, I'll use an example, right? So like HIV medication,
yeah,
right? A- HIV medication in most countries is heavily subsidized, right? As a matter of
yeah,
fact, here we get it for free,
okay,
right? And the reason that is the government's looked at the loss of productivity, right? AIDS is very expensive
yeah,
to governments because if somebody gets HIV, they can't work, right? If you can't work, you can't contribute to the economy, and it's just a money sink because there's the illnesses that follow that you have to look after them and etc.
yeah,
And then it got subsidized as a result. I think, like I say, I think the only answer really is government subsidization. Because then what also happens when government subsidize things is they typically get much better rates um, from the pharmaceutical companies because they can buy in massive bulk. Yeah?
Well, yeah, I don't disagree
I
with
don't
you.
know.
The
It's a
problem,
complex issue.
it's an extremely complex thing, and the problem is when they start comparing countries like the U.S. to countries like Canada or Great Britain or even Africa that have subsidized health care, that have a more I'll say the dreaded word socialistic approach to government, right? Um, the problem is when a country starts out and they say, okay, this is the way we're going to do it, and this is what this is how we're going to handle these things. And then you have a country like the United States that has been structured towards free enterprise, capitalism, um, trying to shift away from that is met with such opposition, right? And
Yeah.
what a lot of people don't understand is that we have so much socialism already that exists within the American government. We really do. Our highways is a socialistic endeavor. Our free interstates, our postal service, our airfare, our not airfare, like the postal service, things like that. That is a socialized, part of our government. That now, granted, on the postal service, we're not as dependent on it as we once were because everybody does things digitally now. Everything is online, right? And I think that's probably why that division is suffering, and it's become such a money sinkhole. Um, but I'm not necessarily. The thing about it is if we were to move towards a more socialistic, because I've had conversations like this at great length with friends of mine that live in Canada, right, and that live underneath a socialized healthcare system. And I said, the problem is for the United States to shift or to move away from it, which they tried to do back in 2000 and what was it, about 8, right under President Obama, through the United Healthcare Plan, right? Um, the problem with that is that we as Americans would have to get away from this mentality of suing at the drop of a hat. We Americans love to sue, and the problem is the only one that makes money off of this is the insurance companies and the lawyers. The insurance companies drive up the rates for malpractice insurance on doctors, so then the doctors have to drive up their cost for you to go see the doctor, right? do this as a little experiment. The next time you have to you have to go in for just a your checkup for the doctor, or maybe you got you're sick or whatever. Go in and ask them, if I paid for this cash out of my pocket and didn't run this through any insurance, what would it cost me? Okay. Then get that figure and then look, okay, this is what it's costing me per month for premiums, right? For the insurance premiums. And then I've got a deductible or a copay that I have to pay, right, from going and seeing that doctor. See which of the two is cheaper. Because when you run through your insurance company, right, there you have to pay for all the paper pushers, right, all the middlemen, and that's why it So anyway, that's just
See,
I was shocked.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird here because look, I have insurance, right? But here we have a culture of you need insurance for if you are in a horrible accident, right?
Yeah.
That's why you need it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is more expensive in general. Like I think I've gone to a doctor once in the last 2 years, twice in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But and I still pay for my insurance. But the only reason I pay it is I don't want to get nailed with a bill if I have a terrible accident. Like I'm okay to pay everything else out of pocket or go sit at the government hospital, right? Or whatever for other stuff. But like, no, no. No.
Beavers, your bird sounds mad at you.
It's such. I hate that bird.
Why?
Don't say you hate the bird.
What kind of bird is it, Beavers?
I do. It's an African gray.
Oh.
Wait,
parrot.
I have to look that up.
That's like that's in the parrot family, right?
Yeah. One of the smaller, medium-sized parrots, I'd say.
Oh, does it have a little red tail?
Yes.
Oh.
How
but
friendly
he
is it?
Not at all. I was gonna get in. I rescued him from I rescued him from some drug addicts, and they really abused him.
Yeah.
And the problem with them is they have very good memories. They're very social creatures.
Yeah.
And so as a result, he does not trust humans at all.
Yeah.
So
Aw, poor thing.
it's kind of a cruel life, cruel existence for him. You know what I mean? Because like I can't play with him and stuff like that.
Sure.
The thing is, I could, but the problem is, it's such his beak is so sharp.
Yes.
Right. That if he, for example, if he was sitting on my shoulder and everything's fine, and suddenly I do something that he doesn't like, and he bites me on my cheek, he'll literally tear a hole in my cheek.
Oh God.
So
Yeah,
is he, because of his past, keepers, whatever, is he confined to a cage for that reason? I mean, because he's not able.
Well, he stays in the cage, but what I do is because obviously cats and everything are a problem. Like if I leave a window open or something. But like on the weekends, I'll open up his cage and then he can wander around the house and do his thing. Which is kind of bad because he's very destructive. So I've had to replace the skirtings on my floor a few times.
Yeah.
Because he chews through them. But yeah, good bird. When I picked him up, the first thing that he did when we were driving him home, me and my sister went to pick him up because he was sitting in the bar, right? And the first thing that he did was we're driving along and he farts, right? He makes a farting sound and then he shits.
Oh no.
So yeah, he was around some rough people.
Yeah.
And then I rescued another parrot. But that one I ended up giving to a sanctuary.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, when my wife and I
Beavers is not that bad.
When the wife and I first got married, we had a couple of birds. We had a parakeet, and then we got a cockatiel, which is
cockatiels are amazing.
Yes, the parakeet was cool too. The parakeet would like hop up on my shoulder and just ride around on my shoulder everywhere I went. Right. Like if I had to go run an errand around town or whatever, he would hop on my shoulder, and he would ride on my shoulder. I'd go out and get in the vehicle and go run my errands, and whatever. And he was content just to ride around on my shoulder. So, and
Well, I don't know. Did you have the parakeet when you were married to your wife?
we got him after we were married. So,
Okay, so if your wife wears any necklaces or something that parakeets do,
yeah.
I mean, not parakeets, cockatiels do, is they're fascinated by like shiny shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you put him there, he'll go and he'll try and bite their little necklaces and stuff like that.
Yeah. We don't have them anymore, but yeah, we
I still have mine. It's in my freezer.
oh really?
He told me that story the other day. I was like, beavers, no.
That's funny.
My mother's attached to it. She refuses to bury it. That thing's been sitting in the freezer now for like 5 or 6 years.
Oh, good Lord.
And beavers told me that. I was like, what?
Oh man.
Yeah, I drew the line when my one sausage dog died. She wanted to do the same, and I put my foot on, and, like, drew the line in the sand, and I was like, "It ain't happening. I'm not putting a whole dog in the freezer.
No.
I'm not running a doggy morgue."
So well, I guess you could always taxidermy them, and have them in the corner.
It's a bit creepy.
Well, I don't disagree, but
Are you about to reveal?
no.
Are you about to reveal?
All through, I guess when I was a kid, whatever, I had dogs and whatever. But they were outside dogs; they weren't inside dogs or anything like that. And so, when they would, die and whatever, we would just, dig a hole and bury them and go on. I mean, it was no big deal, whatever, right? And then I don't know, my boys were like in their, I don't know, like 12 or 13, something like that. I rescued a dog, and it was a little house dog, a little lap dog, and so she took up with me and was like my dog. And when we had to put her down a couple of years ago because she got cancer, and there was just no, there was no whatever. That was the most money I ever put out on a dog in my entire life. Had her cremated and the whole bit, and spread the ashes and all that, because it was just, I don't know, it was just so attached to that one versus like I think mainly because it was an inside dog, and it'd come sit on the lap, and you sit there and watch, television, and she would just lay her little head and just kind of look up at you every now and then, kind of sigh, and I don't know, it just became more attached. And I just decided after that I just couldn't do a dog again or anything like that, because it just that one hurt. That one hurt, and I was just like, nah, no more pets for me. So
My mom keeps saying that, and then she comes home with puppies after one dies.
Oh no, I just can't. So
My mother got her Chihuahua cremated. She's sitting in the lounge.
Yeah.
In a little box, right? Getting animals cremated is the biggest scam on the planet.
Oh yeah, because it was like $200 for me to get this little dog cremated.
And it's not. Think about it, Rivi. It wasn't just your dog. They put a whole bunch of them in there.
Yeah.
I got my bag. I got my bag back. Right. We got the bag for the Chihuahua back. Yeah. The bag for the Chihuahua and the bag for my grandmother, the same size.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, there's no way, right?
There's no way.
Yeah. He was like,
and then
wait
you think
a minute.
And you think about how many bones there are in a Chihuahua. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It should have been like a shot glass of ashes, right? I mean, it should have been anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know. I paid the veterinarian and stuff. I said, yeah, they had a service there. It's okay. He's like, do you want the ashes back? I was like, no, I don't want the ashes back. And so they have a field where they, spread the ashes for all the pets that they cremate or whatever, which I was cool with. Like whatever, go do your thing or whatever. But I was like, no, I'm not. I don't know. It was just to me that was just I don't know. That was, and I mean I know people keep their ashes of their pets and they put them on the mantle and this that whatever. And I'm not I'm not shaming or nothing. I'm just
Keeping
which wasn't me. So
keeping ashes is also the dumbest thing ever. Right? You know how many people I've known 3 people that have left grandma or grandpa at a house when they moved.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Or the other thing that people don't consider is okay, so cremation's a relatively new thing, right?
yeah.
That people do. And so what people haven't taken into consideration is what happens 4 generations down the line. Do I just have an entire like shelf in my house that has my
I
child?
hate you. I hate you, dude. Oh my god, I hate you.
I
so
got a
much
story
that.
for you. This I was because I get weird feeds on my stories or whatever, right? So recently, here in the states, there was some flooding and stuff that occurred in, and so these fishermen, and I think this was like on the Mississippi River, I think, yeah. So they were out fishing on the Mississippi River, and they saw this box floating, and they when they first saw it, they thought it was like this tackle box. So they go over to get this tackle box, and they open up this tackle box, and inside this tackle box was a little handcrafted little uh, like blanket, baby blanket, and there was a urn with ashes in it, and all this other stuff that was very, like some baby shoes, things like that, right? So these fishermen freak out, right? And rightfully so, right? You just opened up the remains of this, thing it's got a baby in it, right? The ashes of a baby. So they're like freaking out, right? So they go to the authorities, right? So what do you do with something like this, right? So you go to the authorities with it, right? And so the authorities were like, okay, well, they didn't know if maybe possibly this was a deal because of the flooding and something, that this had been in somebody's home and it had just been washed out, right? So they start trying to search, and they put out these what do you call it, blogs or whatever, whatever, across all these different social media feeds, newspapers, things like that, you know, to see if maybe the family had been separated from this. Then we're trying to get back to the family, whatever. Turns out that what it was this was a baby that had was born stillbirth, and the family had it cremated and everything, and they had attempted to bury the child at sea. This child had actually been taken offshore down in the Gulf, right out in the ocean, and they had put it in this box or whatever, and had put an anchor on it, whatever. And I guess the anchor rope, whatever, had rotted off, and so it had backwashed up to the Mississippi. They found the family and everything. They just had a failed attempt as at sea burial and stuff. And I thought, wow, that's to me that was just such a weird story to read. And I was like, why? I mean, if you're going to bury it at sea, why not just sprinkle the ashes at sea? That's what traditionally is done. So,
People,
yeah.
you want some news that dropped on my stream last night?
Was this after I left?
It was after you left, Peepaw.
Yeah, I would love to have some news. Sure.
All right. So, Mr. Pancakes, sorry.
Yeah.
Messaged Matt and begged for him to come on to the show. I'll be nice, blah, blah, blah. And it was funny because Matt was like, guess who this is? And like 3 words in, I was like, Salvo.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
So Salvo comes on, and kisses my ass a little bit, telling me he's apologizing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then he talked about, because he said he had information on the 3 videos Edwin was going to drop.
Okay.
The first one is supposed to be on the 14th, and it's about Olivia and Babs. The second one, now, granted, this is being told by Salvo, so we don't even know if it's true. All right. But the second one's supposed to be on the 21st, and that's about Nicholas Diorio. And the last one is supposed to be the 27th, 28th, something like that. And that's supposed to be about Keemstar and Brantley.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had that as a tweet. Ash.
Yeah, she was in my chat last night.
Yeah, and put this out. Um, you know, we talked about that briefly while I was on the stream. About Edwin coming back and what and while I think I don't know what kind of a video he's going to be doing on Nicholas. It could be one where he's owning up, taking responsibility, and and moving on. Or it could be a counterpunch or whatever, right?
Or it could be complete lie, and he comes out with a video that has nothing to do with nothing, and he does a live stream instead, groveling to everybody or talking to
Exactly.
everybody.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with making 3 videos
Yeah.
is, let's say he makes the first one, right?
Okay.
And it's received very, very poorly.
Yeah.
Does he then release the second one? So I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That sounds like a very bad idea.
Yeah, again, it's Salvo pancakes, but then again, it's Edwin, so it's like it's either a really bad idea or Salvo's lying.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
it's Salvo, right?
It's also Edwin too, though.
And it's Edwin, right? So is this a deal where is Edwin playing Salvo? Is Salvo trying to play everybody else? This is one of these deals where I get what you hope for the best, expect the worst. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's a safe assumption.
I just go by the Edwinism. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I did not like how Edwin treated you. I didn't, especially if this was supposed to be a friend, right? I don't like it when people say I'm a friend, and then they do what they happen.
Well, I don't like how he treated his other friends. I don't like how he treated Eva.
I didn't like how
Eva was his homegirl for
Yes.
a while.
Yes.
I don't like how he treated Eva.
I didn't like how he treated Bo Blacks. I thought that was very disrespectful as well. And I like Bo Blacks. I think Bo Blacks has a very
Bobby's a
kind
good
heart.
dude.
I think he has a very kind heart, and I think
He really does.
I think he. Here's something that's I think the very first big YouTuber that I ever got a follow from was Tommy C. And I think that was just because maybe I joined his channel, whatever, and he has a habit of following people that support him financially, whatever. So it was a big thing, but looking back now through different eyes, it was like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's not to Tommy and I are friendly. We're not buddies. I would sit down and have a beer with him, and would love to to get to know Tommy a little bit better. But the first person that I consider like a really big YouTuber that followed me out of the blue for no reason ever was Bo Blacks.
Yeah, I remember when Bo Blacks followed me, and I checked my Twitter to make sure it was real.
Yes.
And then I remember when Tommy followed me, and I'm like, and they all followed me around like a 2 to 3 day period. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? It was scary. There's a hit list out on me. What are they doing?
Right. But Bo Blacks is genuinely is funny. He's entertaining, funny guy.
He is. I love Bobby, especially the one thing I love about Bowie is like he throws out these like little insults, but the way he does it, like there's no question that he's joking.
Yeah, it's very tongue in cheek. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since we brought up that name, Pancakes, I guess he's got his original Twitter account back, which good for him, whatever, right? But he put out this video where he's
but Tipster's blocking was a bit over dramatic.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's Tipster. It's going to be over dramatic. Come on now.
Yeah. But I found this funny because my homeboy Pimpin' Pete, right, says footage of Salvo getting his half of the house in the divorce. This, I don't know what he's doing.
Wait, what the hell is this? I haven't seen this because I have them blocked, so I haven't seen this.
Oh, you haven't seen this video? Okay, well, I'll tell you what.
No.
I'll tell you what. We'll watch it.
All right.
I don't really know what he's doing here. I guess he's remodeling this room.
That man has never used a hammer in his life.
No,
No,
he
he
hasn't.
hasn't.
Look at him.
No. Yeah. He's trying to watch that nail, you goober. And the
What
fact that
the
he's got boards sticking up everywhere with nails that he could step on. Nah. He's not, construction is not in his repertoire. I think I'm safe in saying.
No, it's like, I don't know. It's like I always say, I'm not the man. I'm the man that calls the man.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not the man.
Back when I was younger and I didn't, and this is going to sound really tacky, but whatever, but I had to become the man because I couldn't afford to call the man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I could do, I would half-ass things together, right? Because that's just what you do. I didn't have the knowledge or the expertise, but I would just make it work, right? Because, you know, hell, I had no money, raising kids, wife, all that shit. But now I don't hesitate. I got people on speed dial. Hey, can you come? Because you know, my kryptonite, without a doubt, 100% is plumbing. I would rather take a beating than to work on plumbing. And I've got a couple of different people that I can call, and boom, they flat out, you know, get here and they do it, and I don't even mess with it because it's just not my thing.
That's one thing I love about my husband. He can gnaw a tree in half. He
Yeah.
can gnaw a tree in half and build me a house out of it.
Well, then you got a good man because I'm not
Hell
near that
yeah.
man. I'm not near that much of a man.
Well, they didn't have money to call other people. They,
Yeah.
the boy, you know, his family,
Yeah.
they had to do it themselves. So roofing, everything.
I've got brothers and stuff that can do all that stuff, right? Like that are very, you know, hands-on, very handyman type dudes. But they got their own lives and their own kids and their own wives and things like that. So I will occasionally call them if we plan something out.
Yeah.
But like if it's something like, oh, we've got a water leak and stuff, no, I just call a dude. I'm just not.
I
No.
know that's right. You like that thumbnail?
I love this thumbnail.
Cute. Ain't that thumbnail cute? Eva
It
did
is.
a good job on that thumbnail.
Yes,
She's
I
one
think
of the next thumbnails for for the
Yeah.
channel.
And I'm going to turn the notification on because I want to watch this. It's going to premiere in 8 hours. So, guys, this is at the broadcast. And here's what I'll do because I'm just, you know, nice like that. What's that? Peepaw, bring up Squatchin's newest commission. Oh. We have a new Oh.
Is there a new commission done?
There's a new commission done, and I'm going to bring it up right now. Bang, bang. I got shooters everywhere.
It's a gender bent. Xylee gets real.
Oh.
Damn right. Look, I got like an 8-pack. I know that's. Damn, I'm sexy as hell.
Yeah. That's nice.
Oh.
Squatching out here. Doing the Lord's
Mexy.
work. Good job.
Hell yeah, squatching.
Says, y'all trying to get my ass whooped with these. Anonymous commissioner thought a gender bent Zada gets real is what the world needed. I'm being used as a tool of war.
I like this one. I got shooters everywhere. Bang, bang.
Yeah,
Hell
I
yeah.
like it too. That
I
purple
love
hair,
that squatching.
That purple hair looks good on you, girl.
I love it.
You even got the eyebrows dyed. Yeah.
Squatching says open for business for your thirst trap needs. Hell yeah.
Exactly. Good for you, Squatching. Good for you. 100%.
I'm tired of all of this.
Why are you tired of all this?
Why are you tired, Beavers? Hey, we ain't even started with you yet.
I don't like seeing Matt Pitt not safe for work stuff on my feed.
That's safe for work.
I don't like it.
This is coming.
Yeah, this is
Beaver.
Zoddy though. So you should like this. Or does it make you feel a certain way, Beavers, and you're not okay with that feeling?
Is that what it
I don't
is?
know. I had to unfollow, like I literally unfollowed all my not safe for work accounts on Twitter because I was sick of like I'd be out and I'd be on Twitter and then somebody will look over my shoulder or something and they'll see me scrolling, but then it's just on a pair of tits, right? So it's the same kind of logic. I don't want those looks. If this becomes a thing, scary.
I don't think it's going to get much worse than it already has.
I actually used to follow a transgender comedian, and I had to unfollow them because they'd be funny, but they'd also post their nudes, and no, wasn't good. No bueno.
But I understand what you're saying, Beavers, because, like, for example, Bunny Buttons. I think she's hilarious. I think she's funny. I think she's a beautiful young lady. But her NSF stuff, I don't know. Like, if I was younger and wasn't an old married man, I probably would enjoy it more. But I feel like it just kind of makes me like a creep, I think, to look at that stuff. And
Well, my thing is, if I want to schmeat my meat, right?
yeah,
I'm gonna, I'll put it into Pornhub. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm not. I don't want to. I don't know. Matt has the opposite opinion. Matt thinks that he likes tits and stuff being on his timeline because he says it improves his mood.
Well, anything that can improve Matt's mood is a good thing.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You know what Matt does, right? Instead of like saving the photos or liking the photos, he bookmarks them.
Really?
Oh God, I'm gonna make. Oh God, next time I'm gonna be like, Matt, I demand to see your bookmarks. I
Exactly.
demand to see your bookmarks, sir.
Is that? I don't even think. Let me check mine because I'm old and I'm ignorant.
Oh,
I want to see bookmarks. Do I even have anything?
it's right under messages.
Yeah, here's my bookmarks. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I use bookmarks for like my live streams and stuff. So that
Oh,
way
okay.
I have it in one place, so I can just put them up on my tabs. And I use
Oh,
bookmarks for stuff that I know I want to read later, but I just didn't have time. Yeah, I use the book. I've always used the bookmarks.
okay.
It's a good way to keep tweets that you know you're going to use later or you want to get back to.
Oh,
Well, as far as I know, Matt Pitt's bookmarks are just tits.
I'm going to demand to see his bookmarks.
You should. Be
see,
interesting.
D Max is already in the replies saying bang bang. Mm.
Oh, D-Max got to talk to Salvo last night.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
I see D Max is in the chat. Hey, D Max.
Well, I had to
calling in?
private the video, but it's getting
Yeah.
ready to get uploaded,
Oh.
and you should definitely check it out.
Well, if Max,
Even if you scroll to the
Yeah.
point where you just see Salvo come up in there.
Max, if you're not busy stuffing your face full of chicken fillet, if you want to call in, I would love to get a first person. What is your? Because
It was actually very interesting.
yeah, because here's the thing about I'm really torn right now with Salvo. I'll be just brutally honest. I'm really torn with Salvo. Part of me still wants to kind of engage with him a little bit every now and then because I did think a lot of the stuff that he did was funny, but I think a bigger part of me that is really like I'm kind of over it. I was over with how he was treating you, of course, Tipster, Augie and stuff, especially with what came out. Now, I don't care what came out. I didn't care about that. And they're all adults. I didn't give two rips, whatever. I just thought it was extremely, hypocritical. And so I'm just, like I said, I'm kind of at a crossroads. Hey, Max, how you doing this morning, buddy?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Max. How are you?
I'm doing well, Xylee. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I have my Dunkin' Donuts and coffee now.
Yay! All is right with the world then.
Yes.
So, Max, please, if you don't mind, I would love to hear about what your first impressions now that you've got to speak to the great Salvo pancakes. What was your takeaway?
Well, it was my takeaway from it afterwards honestly was just like it was kind of depressing. Like
Okay.
it like cuz it's like you get the sense of like a guy like that, right? Who you see in like videos and hear very good things from other people.
Yeah.
And then like just to hear like and I'm not this is not me memeing or anything. Like
Yeah.
I'm legitimately saying this. Like I felt like there was a tinge of like desperation there that was like really kind of telling, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the types of things that he's trying to bait people on too. It's like he keeps on bringing up the thing about like, oh, my wife turned off my credit card, and it's like I don't know if that's like real, but that to me, it's like the way that it smells, the way he brings it up, the types of cadence that he has, the fact that it's like the same type of like delivery of it every time, and it's always like this weird hammy sort of like it just it just feels like desperation, and it's like I don't know. It's like I before I thought that like the guy actually was doing the character bit, and now it's like I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure if that was like a joke salvo pancakes, or if that's just like who he is, kind of a thing.
Right.
So like I don't know. My thing afterwards is just kind of like maybe it's better if Salvo just goes and does Salvo, and I guess I wish him the best, all things considered. You know.
It's almost like he was like when he was up there last night, it's like he was desperate for attention.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just again like because especially since like he originally took the angle to try to like kind of I don't know instigate some sort of a thing with me or something. But it sort of felt like the moment that he realized that he couldn't really get a rise out of me in that way, or that I wasn't really like scared, or that I wasn't gonna like engage with it that way, or he wasn't gonna be able to bait me. Like he switched the other way completely and tried to compliment me a lot. Which I mean, hey, I appreciate a compliment, but like then he tried to do this whole thing about, and you'll see it when Zally posts
Yeah.
a video, but like he tried to do this whole thing where he tried to do the apology thing, but he
Okay.
Yep.
couched it with this thing of like, oh, but like I don't, I'm not going to apologize for everything. And then he like later on asks me if I thought that it was genuine because he said that I was quote unquote emotionally intelligent. And I just was like, no, like I don't, sorry, man. Like it didn't really come off as genuine because you couched it with the whole thing of like, well, no, I'm not, like I'm
And
not
you've
gonna
been
apologize
really
for
mean to
everything.
me this year, Xylee. You've been really
And then
mean to
yeah,
me.
and then he said that, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, then now it's all out the window because it's just like you
Yeah.
can't come in and say an apology and then say, but actually you were the bad guy. It's like, okay, now you're still
Okay,
memeing.
buddy.
Yeah.
You know, it's an old saying, but it's a saying that I live by. Words are cheap and actions speak louder.
Well, and that's what Xylee said. Yeah, she was like, I mean, it just depends on how you act going forward. And I thought that
Yeah.
was like kind of a perfect response, you know?
100%. Yeah. Because
So
Zali's not only is Zali a beautiful woman, she's also very intelligent. And, so I would expect
absolutely. And she's
nothing.
a queen.
And she's a queen. Yeah. I would
Simp.
simp. Fine, I'm a simp, whatever. I just acknowledge when I see somebody that's got a good head on their shoulders. I acknowledge that. I don't, we have a lot of creators out here sometimes that I don't think present either one of the sexes in a very good light as far as being smart. They're good at, reading a room, and they're really good at, placating their viewers and stuff like that. But they don't really have a morals. They don't have a
Well,
spine,
that was
So
something I was thinking about too, was just that like it's going to be really interesting to see if Salvo does come back to making content because he can't do the slinging the audience thing, you know?
yeah,
Like his audienceship, like his goodwill, his good faith in the community is diminished. So it's like he's not going to get the same type of like all the pancakes in the chat. Like he's not going to like it's hard to play that mad dog role when you don't really have like an audience behind you in that way. You just end up being the heel, you know? So
um,
it's yeah.
I think I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit. I still believe that there are some super fans, for lack of a better word,
Oh
of
yeah.
Salvo.
Sure.
When he comes back, when he starts streaming again, he's going to have viewers initially, because some people are going to just come back to say, okay, how does he come back? How does he, whatever, right?
Right.
But you're going to have those ones who are still going to try to go around to the different streamers because they're going to want these streamers to react to his return, right? If you was it were. So you're going to see this. You're going to see the pancakes in chat. You're going to see
Yeah,
that
no, I
type of
don't think
stuff.
it's dead
So
dead. I'm just saying
no,
that it's horribly diminished and
oh
I
yeah,
mean, I think like his first couple streams or like whatever content he makes coming back, yeah, that'll get
yeah.
some clicks or whatever, but as soon as like the bit of him coming back, as soon as that kind of fades, it's like where's the gimmick now? It's like what's the pull? What's the
I
drive?
don't know.
What's the
I don't
hook?
think that's the thing, right? I think people have blinders on because of their personal opinions of him. Silver is genuinely entertaining.
Yeah.
He's a very charismatic personality, right?
And
And
it's wasted on a
I
piece
think
of shit. That's the sad part.
right, and so like I've told Silver from the beginning, well, since he started doing his bad things, I told him it's not worth it,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Just don't do that shit, right? I personally, I mean, I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, right? I have no problem with him bullying people. I
Oh,
have
yeah.
absolutely no problem. Because again, just ignore it. Right? That's been my stance from the beginning. I just think when he comes back, it just because you have to remember, right? The people that were his cult members, he would say, right, were the SNT.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They were his hardcore cult members, but they weren't the ones spamming pancakes in the chat,
No.
right? That was the air of charisma that he had about him. So it just depends on what content he makes and how
Yeah.
he decides to go about
I mean,
things. I don't think
I guess
the play for him isn't to harper on people. I think he can diversify and go make fun of other things.
I mean, I'm willing to see, you know. I think my I guess my analogy would be like you're you're a comedian in a club and it's all great. Like you're a really good comedian when like 80% of the room is laughing, you know? But if you're making the same jokes, like and this is just the reality of comedy, like everybody's dealt with this and coming up in comedy. If you're in another club or if you're in another room or another set and for whatever reason your jokes just aren't selling, it's like it's only playing to like 20% of the room. The reality is by the end of your set, it'll probably be like 5%, maybe. You might have your mom laughing at you, you know? Um so it's like that's kind of what I foresee. So again, like I legitimately like I don't really harbor a lot of like ill will towards anybody in general. So it's like for Salvo, it's like dude, I wish you the best. But I mean, if you're gonna be if your approach to content is going to be the way that you have been on the past couple of streams, it's pitiful. I don't think it's all that funny to me, you know. Now again, there are people out there who love him who are gonna support him no matter what. But like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's better that people just leave psychosis to psychosis.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think the water or the bridges or whatever analogy you want to use as far as within this community, I think are gone. Right. I don't believe that, especially some of the larger ones, are going to have anything to do with it anymore. Um,
Hmm.
I think that's I'm kind of interested in seeing if there's any type of going forth collaborations between him and Edwin, at least on air. I know there's
Oh, I
been.
think there is.
You think
I
so? Yeah,
absolutely. I really do. I think they are buddies to the end. I honestly believe it when he says that he still talks to Edwin. I
yeah,
believe it 100%. And that's fine. If they have a friendship, they have a friendship. That's them. That's not me.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know?
It's good to have a buddy.
Yeah. It's good to have a buddy, no matter if you're two shitheads or not.
yeah. I'm kind of curious if they still try to, I guess, remain in this part of the internet, or do they shift into a different community and try to run that game over there? You know.
I mean, if I
Well,
were them, that's what I would do. Is just drop it. Like make a little apology. Like if I was Edwin, for instance, I'd be like, make an apology, try to keep it short, but like make it very concise and make it so that it's like you hit all the points you need to make, and then just never talk about it again and make completely different content. And then build it up over, a period of months. If you want to get back into commentary at some point, doing the live streams or whatever. If you go a year without having any incident, I mean, probably people are a lot more willing to, let you have it.
I mean, again, the other thing is, you also have to remember there is a lot of people that hate that part of the community. They dislike all the personalities in it, whether it's genuine or if it's just to get clicks. There is that proportion of them. So, and again, when you look back on it, right? Salvo said this from the beginning, right? He was never part of the commentary community, right? He was like a comedian that was that found an audience here.
I mean, do you choose what community you're a part of?
I think he came to this community for a reason. I
Yeah.
really do. I don't know what, but I think he came here for a reason.
Well, I agree with that. And I think the reason is he saw people that, and this may upset some people, and if it does, whatever. He saw some people that was making these commentary videos that were critiquing other people's behavior or their actions or their words or whatever it was that he felt like was thin skinned, and he felt like he could expose them for that thin skinness and have fun with them. And that's what he did. He did it
Well,
with
and to your
flamenco.
point,
Yeah.
Yeah. To your point, I mean, he had done a little bit of digging at me before he had gotten on the stream and everything. He had made
Yeah.
a tweet that, and made a few comments like
Yeah.
when he was on Now Recording live stream and stuff like that. And then he deleted that. And then during last night, he was just very, very nice.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's like, again, that kind of went to my whole thing of like, I don't know how genuine this is. It's like, it feels like a bit, which
The
really
thing,
he shouldn't be doing a bit at this point.
kind of looping back with what something that Beaver said about, bullying people, right? Um, as a person that grew up with bullies and was bullied incessantly through my entire childhood, even through high school days, um, I don't. I'm kind of like with Beavers. I don't have a problem with bullying people. I was bullied. I'm fine, but I also understand that there are certain lines that can be crossed with people, and when that line gets crossed, that's their breaking point. Period. Right. Um, so how do you handle when that happens to you, right? When you
Well, hot take. I
Yeah.
think that bullying is kind of, in some ways, don't take me out of context here, but
Yeah.
bullying in some ways is kind of good for you.
It
Like, I think
is.
that everybody needs like an antagonistic force that's giving them like the news that they don't want to hear, delivering it in the way that they shouldn't hear it. It's good. It's like a broken bone heals twice as hard. Like it's sticks and stones won't break my bones. All
Yeah.
these things like it. We've kind of gotten away from that a little bit, and I think that people have gotten a lot softer being on the internet and not having physical confrontation. The ability, like the possibility that you might actually have to throw hands with somebody if you get to the
Yeah.
point of like dishonoring them to that point.
Yeah.
So,
I
like,
miss those days. I'd much
yeah,
rather just actually
people are
physically
thin-skinned.
fight somebody than this bullshit. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are thin-skinned too. But this is the thing is now if somebody comes on the internet and they're like, "Oh, you're fat, you're a piece of shit," like whatever they're saying,
Yeah.
like that person has no life experience to understand what it feels like to be punched in the face. So that is like the worst thing that's ever happened to them.
Oh,
So they hear that, they see that, and then they're like, and then they freak out, and then they mauled online, and then people like Savo will eat it up because that's what they want. That's the reaction. That's the exact reaction that they're looking for.
the the best reaction is, and this was something that I learned, right? Uh, I was bullied verbally, right? But I was also bullied physically. I was punched, beat, kicked, all these type of things, right? Nose bloodied, yada yada yada. The thing that I learned was the physical pain was a lot quicker, right? It was getting punched in the nose. Yeah, it hurt, but it went away. The verbal verbal pain or bullying, whatever, that was one that stuck with me for a long time. One that I had to come up. So I learned real quick that verbal bullying, right? The psychological aspect of that, that is the one that you wanted to master, right?
Mm.
So I had to learn how to punch back. But then what I as years went by and time went on, I came to the realization that that's not good, right? And I had to really temper my tongue because
Mm.
I knew that I was causing psychological damage. That I got to start seeing that some of these people were not equipped to handle it, and that it really was a thing. But um, so now that I play this, I don't play this. This is who I am, but I don't like using that tool belt anymore. Doesn't mean that the
Mm.
tools are not there. Doesn't mean that they don't have some cobwebs and rust on them. But don't never doubt for 1 second that if I have to draw those out, I can.
Well,
Well, I
that's
put my tools
yeah.
away at the end of last year and I brought
Yeah,
them back out January 1st.
there
My
you go.
tools are
Mhm.
back out. I'm not going to
Yeah,
react or do anything like I did last year.
yeah,
Not saying that I'm going to nitpick every little thing. Everybody says
yeah,
no. I mean, if it's the same
Mm.
shit, it's the same shit. But something big comes up, I'm going to say something about it. There is going to be no saying his name. There is going to
yeah.
be none of that shit.
And
None of it.
I think when you came out and you had your New Year's celebration, I was like, yes, exactly. This is because the whole thing is that with some people, with some bullies, right? They will never ever lose interest in you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many times they punch you. It doesn't matter how many times they knock you down. They have something inside them that is so broken that
Yeah.
they cannot move on. It's like they see it and they have to fixate.
Yeah,
Uh
I had a few bullies in like high school,
yeah.
but like there was one in middle school that was really annoying because we went to the
The
same
gay man, the gay man had bullies at school.
yeah,
Surprise,
for real. Yeah,
surprise.
the trope. It's true. I mean, it is true. And they called me all the things that you would imagine that they would call you. But this
Yeah.
person in particular, middle school, we went to the same like MMA like karate thing, and it was like a
Yeah.
daycare sort of a thing. So like after school, they would come and pick you up, and then you would go hang out over, at the place, whatever. So like I had to see this guy out of school as well, but he also was somebody of like some respect in that it's not, I don't want to call it a daycare, but that was just the service. Um, so this guy was, he was pretty physically abusive to me and kind of, definitely emotionally abusive too. And the the issue was that like if I were because I was terrified of the idea of getting in trouble at school, you know.
Mhm.
So this guy would pick on me and say like a lot, and I would just take it because I didn't want to cause a problem because I didn't want to have issues, at the dojo, I guess, and like at school. Like I didn't want to have to like deal with all of that. And I had already had things before in the past where somebody had bullied me, and I tried to stand up for myself, tried to like not fight the person, but it just at least, because I knew what I was doing in terms of fighting at that point, like a little bit, like just trying to get away, trying to like stop it. And I got in trouble. I got a referral for doing something like that. So the one time that I actually did go back on this guy and like actually gave him the set, like I just didn't, like, instead of him pushing me and me purposefully falling over just so that I could try to mitigate the issue, I just stood there because I wouldn't take it that day. It was one of those days where I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, not today. We're not doing this today. And that one day that I did that was he bust out crying. He made it like a whole big scene. Like you would have thought that I would have like that I killed this guy just by like just literally standing there. And the really funny thing about that is that like I got in trouble again. Like that just, just from the framing, the way that he was able to kind of pull all that off, made it so that I was like the bad guy. So it's like I don't bullying is a really hard thing because there's so many different facets to it. There's so many different ways that it can work. I mean, teachers can be bullies, your friends can be bullies, like lifelong friends. Like you can be kind of trapped in a social relationship with somebody too, and that can be like a whole problem. So like, I mean, I don't know, like I said, there's good aspects you should be challenged by people around you. It's a good thing. But, you gotta try to distance yourself from truly toxic people. And, sometimes
And
a bit of
toxic
bullying
people.
between friends is fun, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I bully you and it's fun.
I'm a fun person to bully. That's the thing. That's why I could never really feel like too bad about any of my real bullies. Is because just like, I mean, look, I'm an easy target, and to be honest, I play with it, so it's fun, you know.
But I mean, it's crazy because crazy people find other crazy people. Because if we
Right.
look at what his old group, what he used to do, and what his old group used to help him do, that old group is still doing it to this day. They haven't stopped. They never stop.
Well, I
Crazy
just
people
like.
find crazy people. It's
Do they just?
amazing.
What's crazy to me? What's weird to me is when people do that kind of stuff, but then they try to do the moral high ground thing, like they're good guys. It's like, all right, well, if you're gonna be doing that though, like, you really want to play it like you're the good guys? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, crazy people find crazy people. Just
I mean,
saying.
my newest one is newest one that I have from that group is is fucking CJ. He wants me
Oh.
wants me to quit now recording because I'm not funny. And his argument
Oh,
is
I
that I
think you're
laugh
funny.
at my own jokes.
Well, what about the
Well,
live stream they did last night? They're demanding a whole bunch of us to go up there and apologize to them.
well, my thing is, I told Xylee this, right? The reason I laugh at my own jokes is because I know I'm funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi.
I
Well, it's
know what I'm
self-confidence.
saying is funny.
It's self-confidence. It's something that they don't have. Like they need a group of people to tell them that it's all good and that they're all doing well. Like I don't think CJ would really exist without like a little bit of an audienceship, you know. If that guy was streaming to like well, I don't know actually. He might be now.
What?
Well, it's just like if a guy like CJ is streaming to like 0 people for months and months and months, doesn't have any of the, kind of community around him like friends in a way. Uh I don't know. It's just like I don't see a guy like that being able to like want to keep up with the content. It doesn't feel like he has the passion,
You know
that
what
you
it
need.
is? It's the same thing you saw in Salvo last night. They are desperate for attention.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's literally what it is. They
Again, I say it
have
with sadness. It's not
yes.
it's not happy. It's,
Oh no,
it's sad.
mine it's definitely happy with me. They have done just about anything and now they're starting to use other people to get me to react. They want me to have a full-fledged like my big fuck you moment to Salvo. They
Yeah.
want me to do it again but with them. And
'Cause that's
I
all they
refuse.
got. No, because
Exactly.
that's all the content that they can ever make. That's the only way that they
Yep.
are, like, entertaining, you know?
Yep.
Or maybe that's their only thing that they think they can entertain people with, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and I did that one live stream and I exposed the op they were trying to do on me. And they tried to use somebody else as an op too. And it's like, listen, I need y'all to step your game up if you want me to react accordingly to this because the way y'all are doing it, it's so fucking obvious. It's like I'm literally laughing about it. I'm not even
Yeah.
mad at this point. I'm laughing at it because it's so desperate. It's like middle schoolers do better jobs than this.
It's is it me or is it almost become they've kind of like become pick me's, right? You know what I'm saying? As far as uh look at me, pick me, I want you to react to me, acknowledge me. I need this and they're just
I
I
mean,
don't know.
isn't that
In a
isn't that
sense.
what it's always been?
Yeah, but to the extreme that they do,
Hmm.
like some of the things that they're trying to pass off, knowing that it would, or thinking that it would piss me off, talking about my animals, saying I'm a hoarder, saying I'm all this kind of stuff, and they're not getting the reaction from me, but they
Well,
expect me to. That tells me that that should tell them that they don't know me like they think they do. When I told them New Year, new me, I wasn't joking. When I went off on Salvo that night and I said I wasn't playing by the rules anymore, it wasn't just Salvo I was talking about. I was talking about everybody,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you. I'm not I guess up because I don't really follow people like CJ, because I know that was the name that was mentioned. Parking Tigers is another one that I know was out there. I mean, did they not have a falling out? Have they kissed and made up, or I mean?
Oh, they're all up in Parking Tigers server.
Oh, okay, all right.
CJ and Parking Tigers are buddies.
Again,
Yeah,
they doxed
I
each
don't think
other and
I don't
stuff.
think they ever really fought. I think that was fake. To be
Oh.
honest with you, I really think that was fake.
Oh, well, that stands
See,
to
that's
reason.
the thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They fake arguments with each other because they want us to think they're falling apart when they've been sitting in that Discord this whole time, faking it.
Well, again, it's just
Well,
pathetic when you don't take the bait. It's just like, what are you doing?
I said this on a now recording stream, I think, or in an episode, that the reason that you don't fight with these people is because I don't know what your standards are. Right? I don't know what your morals are. I don't know what you stand for.
You mean
right?
for them?
Because
You mean SMT?
for them.
Yeah.
But I don't know as the individuals, right? I don't know what their stance is on things.
They're
right?
just
'Cause today
trolls,
it's this.
as far as I know.
Today it's this, tomorrow it's this, right? But that's my thing. That's why I'll never meaningfully engage with them. Because I mean it's like even with CJ. I would have been completely oblivious to CJ if I wasn't sent the screenshots. Like, because it's pointless. I don't know.
Ridiculous. It's like, God, it's like middle school. Well, if y'all call it middle school, I called it junior high school, but it's like
Yeah.
middle school all over again. It's like, good God, man. A 13, 14-year-old would do a better job than what y'all are doing. What is wrong with you? And you people are in your 30s or your late 20s. What the hell is wrong with y'all?
It's some light comedy, Xylee. What, are you saying you don't like light comedy?
It's light comedy. It's so light Deaf Noodles is funnier.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. God.
Well, I had an existential crisis over the last couple of days.
What happened?
Because I was trying to figure out what community we belong to, right? Now recording. And according to everybody, we belong to the small commentary community, right? At that point, I don't know how I feel about that one.
I checked small commentary community, but you know what though? Tell you the truth, I kind of see y'all like your own entity. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I put broadcast in their own entity. Because, yeah, we may cover some commentary, but we also cover stuff that's actually in the news, too. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we don't do that.
Yeah, true. But y'all also talk to people who are not technically small commentary either. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I kind of felt like, like when have you ever been somewhere and you're the oldest person in the room? Riverter gets this.
Yes, I have.
And you actually.
Yes, you.
Statistically, most places where you two go are the oldest people in the
Oh
room.
my gosh.
Fuck
Doesn't
you,
really matter.
beavers. Fuck you.
But yeah, I just felt like the oldest. I felt like the oldest guy in the room, and I'm just looking at them like my peers are children.
I feel that way almost every day I live stream. Just saying.
But,
But that's the other thing I was looking at.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know about you, Xylee, but now recording's channel analytics. Now, obviously, I get that people lie and all of that stuff, right? But our channel analytics say that our audience is actually older.
I believe it.
Right.
Actually.
But when I went and I've been for the last 3 days perusing the small commentary community and looking up all the people. And like their audience seems to be children.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my question.
For the most
what
part.
do you consider
Well,
small
teenagers.
but what do you consider small commentary? Like how many subscribers? Because technically I'm small commentary because I'm only at 5K. But my audience, I actually have an older audience. And my analytics is just about 50-50 men and women.
Well, I mean, the thing about maybe it's we're attracting older people because the the videos that I saw in the small commentary were more reminiscent of 2016 kind of commentary.
Right.
In the style of their videos and stuff like that.
It is
I
really
didn't see a lot of
interesting.
live streaming, stuff like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, because I remember watching some of those videos with you talking about Beaver, and like it is interesting because they are a lot. Oh, sorry, but yeah,
No,
but
but
they
you're
are
right.
yeah, but that sort of thing definitely is more of the vein of like the 2015, 2016 style of content, not so much like the because like again, forgive me if I'm wrong here, maybe I'm wrong, but like it seems like the modern stuff is more long form live streams, kind of like in depth, sort of like more radio style thing, whereas like that content that you're talking about is more like edited, like pure, like just YouTube video, like injected straight into your veins, kind of a thing.
Right.
Uh, so it's weird. I was trying to think of like while you're talking, if there's another phenomena kind of similar to that in like a different community. And I would think that like maybe commentary. I don't know when commentary really started, or like when you
Start
can
of the
track that.
internet.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is like it maybe it already always existed as like the broader umbrella, and maybe that was just the nature of it, that it was always going to splinter out into more individual sort of places, because it's very
Mhm.
similar to me as like gaming, like gaming has so many different facets of like content now. I guess
Right.
commentary is kind of similar. It's like you've got more of your let's play commentary, let's say, the people that are playing the videos, pausing it and talking about it and stuff like that, or you've got your in-depth analysis, your review channels, more of the 2015, 2016 like content that you're talking about now. So I mean I would just ask, I guess annoyingly, like what is the distinction of the classification for small commentary, quote unquote? Is it actual size of the like you have to be commentary and then you are at a certain size, or is it that it is a actual community that you call small commentary?
Well, see, here's the thing. Some people are saying the commentary community is no longer. Some people say the community is. What I think is happening, I think the commentary community, I don't think it's dying, but I think it's evolving. And I think it's evolving and splitting at the same time.
Maybe it's just
Honestly.
integrating. Like maybe it was the weird thing. It was the outlier for, that period. I mean, that's my bias, maybe just being in it at the time.
Right.
But like, you know, maybe it was the weird thing at some point, and now it has gotten so normalized just because there are, it's the normal nature of content. One guy makes it really big, everybody follows suit trying to either copy or pull from that. And then it starts to get the derivatives, it starts to get like the changes to it. So maybe we're just at that point now where things have completely simmered down to like a flat, and it's just, this is just what it is now, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is I just go on my channel and I yell a little bit. I
And you do a
bully
great
my
job of it, Queen.
thank you. And I yell at my mods, I yell at my members because they're always trying to unionize against me. I have to lay the hammer down and, that's what I do.
I like Squatch and just said fun commentary. Can we be fun commentary instead?
Okay, listen, they tried that shit with Salvo. Let's bring back fun again, okay? We saw how that
But,
ended, right?
Oh no, the fun was
but
always here.
it is true to a certain extent, because when I went down there and I was looking at those channels, right?
Yeah.
They have a certain vitriol about them.
What do you
Yeah.
They
mean?
like
What do you mean?
It's a
they
pettiness.
really hate, right? They're angry. They're angry at things.
But who are they?
Right,
Who
and
are
I'm
they
like-
hating on? Who do they hate?
No, so if they do a video on X creator, right?
Yeah.
The way that they present themselves and the way that they word things is they hate. Like they hate that person.
Oh God.
It's
Oh,
well, it's
God.
extreme.
Do you know what
It's
I
the
mean?
extremes of the emotions. It's like I hate this person, and this person's an absolute idiot. Like nobody should ever listen to this person. Like they're just giving the worst takes, and
They're
it's like always the
irredeemable.
yeah, yeah. It's always the least charitable like part of the argument, which is entertaining, and I guess that's why they kind of retain their audience, is because again, people with little life experience look at that and they go, "Oh yeah, you're taking them down," but it's like really you look into the meat and potatoes of it, and it's like, no, there's not really
Are
much
you
substance here.
though?
Yeah. Are you though? Yeah,
But
exactly.
you know what? You felt good making it. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
You know, that this is a very interesting conversation that I myself have pondered and wondered on this, right? When you say the commentary community, right? People immediately think of people like Nicholas Diorio,
The
um,
big four.
the
The big
big,
four, Nick,
yeah, the
Augie, Bo
yeah,
Blacks, Tipster. Yeah.
yes. Um, but we don't get what I would consider necessarily a commentary video like we used to. You know, when I think of a commentary, and I'm going back to like 2016 forward is when I'm talking about commentary. You would have somebody that would make around a 10-minute or so video, and they would go through why this person has such a horrible take on this, or they're doing this X whatever topic it is, and this is horrible, and they shouldn't do this, and this is wrong, and yada yada yada, right? And
Right.
basically, it was attacking the person's actions or their deeds, right, or their
Right.
words. But it's like, and to Beaver's point, these smaller ones, they actually hate the individual. They don't, not their words, not their actions, not their whatever, the actual person. They want the actual person completely and totally canceled. They don't want this
Right.
person having any foothold, nothing anymore. And I've noticed that it is very, I can't watch that stuff. To me,
Mm.
it's depressing because there's no room for any type of redemption. I'm not saying what they're saying is not necessarily what the video that they're making on the person. I'm not saying that it's not necessarily a good video and it's not something that necessarily needs to be discussed. But it's just this like he said, this vitriol of hate that they have for these people.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, it's
I
like
I just
I was
don't.
gonna say, it's like when you cover somebody, aside from if the person is like a like a zoophile or
Yeah.
something terrible, right?
Yeah.
But when you cover like somebody that fucked up, I'm just there to laugh at you,
Yes.
right?
Mm.
And in the process, point out what you did was wrong.
Yes.
But I'd still sit down and have a beer with you. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
think I'd get into a voice chat with you. I don't hold any ill will towards you.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
like
don't
what
know.
I say on my channel, just because I yell about someone, and technically I'm not yelling. I'm Puerto Rican, so therefore I'm automatically loud. Okay, people think I'm yelling when I'm really not yelling. But I mean, it's like when I'm getting passionate about somebody, it doesn't mean I hate them.
Well, not to pull the conversation a different way, but like during a lot of the I can't remember exactly when, but it was when the Salvo stuff was really kind of happening. Keemstar went on Tommy C, and their conversation was actually pretty interesting, and it ended up being more about commentary. And what they kind of came to was that in a lot of ways, I think what's kind of driving this style of content at this point is the algorithm. Because if you look at it, like it is a lot more lucrative, because the videos that get monetized are the videos that get promoted on YouTube, right? So
Yep.
if it is a better video in terms of YouTube like monetization to have a like a 3-hour live stream, because there's all the retention and everything, like that's what YouTube is going to promote. So maybe the problem is not necessarily that there aren't these creators out there that make these types of content. Obviously, there are. But it's just the fact that they're not getting promoted in the same way that the other. So it's kind of sort of shifting the community with it, you know? If because like what they had said in that pod or in that interview was that like what would happen if YouTube just decided to press the button and make it so that 20-minute long videos actually get clicks again. Like, what would that look like? Maybe we would have like another, I don't know, like a grade A under A kind of like emerge in that same way, because that was like a whole phenomenon.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be able to exist today.
Well, I wish we would have something so I could react to it. God bless it. Just saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Because,
the other thing
live
is,
streamers like me, I'm starting to have to do the tipster route and actually go look at articles and stuff now because the videos aren't there for me to react to that I even care about.
Maybe this is the cycle though, is maybe you're gonna have to be that person that ends up being that again. Like maybe like
What,
because I,
making
I have a
videos?
feeling
I can't make.
well that's what I'm saying is like maybe that's what ends up being the ultimate push of that. Like that's just the end result of this is that we get to the end of that cycle. Like maybe things will turn over with the algorithm. Maybe it will go back to making 20-minute long videos will kind of be working again. Because I don't think it's like somebody at Google saying like purposefully this is what we should do. It's just that's what the ad revenue like what if we have like an adpocalypse, but the adpocalypse only really affects like live streams like that, and YouTube more looks at it like, oh, well, it's a 20-minute long video. They get in, get out, like what I'm saying, I guess, is that they could easily the algorithm could easily change for any number of reasons, right? Somebody, a Mr. Beast video blows up with like 20 minutes specifically, and all of a sudden that's pumped into the algorithm. Like, we don't know. We don't know
Yeah,
how that
but you know
works, or I
what?
don't.
Here's another reason why a lot of people went to live streaming. Because of how like the ad runs and the ad checks and the yellow dollar signs and stuff like that, it's
Yeah.
actually more lucrative to live. You
Well, because
might
you can
make
get
20 bucks.
donations and stuff.
Well, exactly. You might make only 20 bucks one night, but you might make 200, or if you're Augie, 2,000.
Yeah.
Well,
You
this
know
is
what I'm
what's so
saying?
No, but
sad. Yeah. Go ahead.
but
It's more.
it is the algorithm completely that pushes content because YouTube's all about watch time. They want you to stay on their app. So, for example, what I'll do, podcasts, for example, they've become a big thing, right? But I mean, podcast is it's endless watch hours. You know what I mean? I put that stuff on, I just listen to it. An ad comes on, it's whatever. I don't know. There is a certain look. My thing with the small, like I'm gonna sound okay. We're small too. I acknowledge that, right? But the thing is, if you're gonna be hateful, be funny. You
Yeah.
can get away with saying a lot of things if you're funny, but if you're just that's my takeaway that I had of it. If you're just fucking rage filled and you're just screaming into the void,
Well, that's the
it's
weird
not
thing
funny.
to me is that they're doing like real, actual moral arguments. Like they're trying to legitimately debate each other on things. And it's like, I don't know if that's what that has ever been, I don't know if like this is, cause like like you said, like it's like commentary in a way is like a little bit of bullying with like a lot of comedy, right? And so if you're like, it's good that you're making actual points in your videos, like to criticize somebody, but it's just again from those things like that we saw, like it's just they're trying so hard to make an argument. It's almost not like they're doing commentary. They're almost doing like I don't know, edited debate in a way.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't know.
But
I see such a shift in this community from the time I joined it last year around March, April to now, not even a full year, and it's changed so much. It has changed so
yeah.
much just within less than a year.
And it'll continue to change too. I mean, it's only a matter of time before, something I mean, there's always the possibility of like a viral moment, And what's the I always mess up this expression. It's rising tides carry all boats or whatever. All
Uh-huh.
boats will rise up with a rising tide, whatever you want to say. Like if one person goes shooting off into some direction, I think that because of the community and the nature that it is, I think everybody will kind of have that same effect. And then it's pumped in the algorithm, which means that it'll be, you'll have the whole benefit of it, and then it'll kind of start to get the ball rolling again. Um, that's the way I see it. I don't know if that actually is the way it'll work,
Well,
but
the thing is, the commentary community is really we haven't had this in a while, right? Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it. But we haven't had somebody to rally. I think it's also partially because the big guys aren't doing anything anymore for the most part.
I agree. And
There's
and
nothing to rally behind,
yeah.
which is normally what the community would do. Is they would rally against an Ethan Klein or a something or other. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's the problem of the 24-hour news cycle, right? It's like if there's no news to report on, well, you still got to make a show. So what are you going to do? You know? This
Yeah,
is
but
why,
I agree
I'm
with
with Willie
Beavers on
back
this one.
Mm.
I agree with Beavers on this one because Nicholas DiOrio hasn't put videos out except for on his second channel, which actually those end up pretty good. They're from his Twitch streams or he goes
Mm.
live. Okay. Augie is barely streaming now. People are talking about Turkey Tom. They kind of feel like he's going to be moving away from this community because he's getting to the size now. It makes no sense. You know what I mean?
Well,
And he's moving on to different things. Tipster is being Tipster. He's kind of changed his content up a little bit. Um, it's not like how it was where you had Nick and Augie streaming at the same time and you just chose which one you wanted to go to because you're going to hear both of them anyway. Willie Mack, he puts out videos but he doesn't do them as frequent as he once did. It's honestly, it seems like in some of the rumblings have been that it's almost like the smaller channels are the one that's kind of holding it together right now, but the smaller channels can't even get along with each other.
Right.
well, the other thing is, and this is just the sad nature of commentary, is that it does at a certain point. It's not for the bigger guys. It's not sustainable, right? If your channel isn't constantly growing or moving forward, it will eventually die.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
why
problem that they
you
have
see.
is
No,
if
you're
you get
right.
as big as Turkey Tom and them, it's like, you know what I mean?
Look at Leon Lush. Leon Lush is now doing reacts to TikToks. I mean, he's killing it doing it.
Yeah.
But he moved away from commentary and he's now doing reactions to TikToks.
This is the only thing I really fancy myself an artist. This is the only thing that because I love this platform. Like I love it. Like I think it is one of the best things that's happened to entertainment. But it's just so annoying that if you really want to be good at this, you kind of have to play the game of the algorithm.
Yep.
I detest that. Like I really wish that you could just do your own thing, make your own content, and that it'll work on its own merits, and you don't have to play the game of making shorts or or doing the live streams if you don't want to do the live streams, because it's not like not every type of content is for everybody, and I think that's why some people have not made it past the test of time. It's just they might be good at one thing but not another.
Right. No, I feel you, dude.
I wonder sometimes too. I mean, if you look back when this was still kind of a budding platform, YouTube, whatever, and commentary was really the hot commodity, right, at the time. You had people like Keemstar and Grade A and Leafy and Pyrocynical, right, and Scarce, and these guys that were making content and bringing it, for consumption. And it was always, I think it was because everybody was in their infancy, right? So nowadays they've gotten a lot more savvy as far as how to
Mature.
navigate
Yeah.
waters, but there's still one area that it seems like is constantly a thorn for online creators, period. And it always seems to go back to this inappropriate actions and behaviors with the fans, right? Or inappropriate actions, behaviors at some gathering or party or whatever, right? And that seems like that has been what has been um, monopolizing, for the lack of a better word, the news cycle within the quote commentary community for the last 2 to 3 years. It's like, okay, when is the next Google Doc dropping on how this person was inappropriate with me in DMs, or this person was uh, physically inappropriate with me at some party, or whatever, that type of thing. And it's like that's just been the one thing that these creators have not been able to become smart, I guess, for lack of a better word, on how to conduct themselves when interacting with people.
I saw this with a buddy of mine where it was somebody I went to school with. He ended up getting real big and getting a really good job, paid really well, but he was always sort of a nerdier sort of guy. Never got the ladies,
Yeah.
always, never got, even when he tried to date people, like he
Yeah.
wasn't able to. So he went from that kind of person to now somebody with a lot of status, a lot of money, and it was a weird shift for him to deal with like now like being inundated with people who wanted to be closer to him and stuff like that. And so like in a lot of ways, unfortunately, it kind of warped him and made it, it's if you go from being a person that nobody sees, if you go from being an invisible male to somebody who is now in the forefront of things, like I don't think it's like, of course it's unexcusable. Like people shouldn't be, be doing bad things, but like I almost understand it to a degree that at least some of these guys end up in these situations with, lady fans or whatever, like it's like they just don't know how to conduct themselves. They don't really have the real life experience to say, hey, like, this is nice that you're sending me booba pictures, but like I can't really engage with you any more than that. I shouldn't
Oh,
as a creator.
It's exactly that, right? Because it's like, who are? I mean, I'm sure there are exceptions to this rule, but like, who are majority of the people that are going to make it on, that are going to grind out YouTube to make it, right? They're nerds.
Yeah.
They're the weird kid. You know what I mean? And suddenly the weird kid is ridiculously popular, and everybody wants a piece of them.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Hot girl
because and
messages.
it's different facets too, because it's like you might have the comedian guy, you might have like the tech nerd, you might have the guy who's really good at making videos or making weird videos, like those all have personalities in that, but it's all the same problem, it's all the same issue, which is just that they don't have the life experience to know how to conduct themselves in certain social situations, and it doesn't help either. Like I think people have talked about this before. There is a larger percent, or from what I've seen as well, there's a larger percentage of like let's say people on the spectrum or people with just like social issues anyway, cognitive or otherwise. So I mean that's just a mixed bag of problems. It's going to lead to some issues. I don't know how you
And
solve that. I guess you don't. It's just people got to grow up. They got to learn.
there's also, I think there's also something to be said about like, in order for you to do YouTube, right, you have to be, to a certain level, you have to be a narcissist, right?
Without saying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You like hearing your own voice and you like seeing yourself, right, to a certain degree. But there's this thing where I think in a lot of these cases, people think of a narcissist and they just think of somebody that thinks they're the best and acts like they're the best, right? And doesn't need validation from anybody else. You know what I mean? They're the guy that will say, I'm the best, and if you don't think I'm the best, you're wrong, right? That's what people think when you think of like narcissist, right?
Right.
But there is another less common type of narcissist who they're insecure narcissists. They require other people to acknowledge
pump
their
them up.
greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the case is that
it's because it's like a lack of
because-
cognitive. They don't want cognitive dissonance ever. So they need to surround themselves with people that agree with them constantly, because that's really where the insecurity comes from. A narcissist with a narcissist that doesn't have an insecurity problem would be like a Donald Trump, a narcissist with a problem like that would be like, I don't know, like an Edwin, I guess.
Yeah, it's I just think that a lot of the problems that crop up is because of people's own internal issues that they have. It is sad that that's the case. Like that's what it props up so much in the community. I mean, I've also hot take, right? I might get cancelled.
Beavers,
by
you're
this.
getting canceled at least once a week on the podcast. I think
Right.
you'll be all right.
I think Tommy has the same thing, right? I think that the word pedophile in our community is thrown around a bit too heavily.
Absolutely.
I think that in majority of the cases, what you're actually looking at is a very lonely individual.
Yeah.
That is acting very inappropriately. Because again, it's online, right? So if you were in real life, right, and you aren't friends, you can't get friends your age, the social stigma would be there to like stop you from engaging with somebody that's younger than you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if I don't have friends in real life, I can't go on the street and play with a 10-year-old.
Right.
You know what I mean? People are going to look at me funny.
Yeah,
Somebody's
there's
going to come and they're going to
accountability.
tell me. Somebody's going to come there and they're going to tell me not to do it. My behavior will be corrected by the society that I find myself in. Whereas I think online, I think it becomes a very slippery slope for these people.
Well, I've seen this in different communities before. It's like if you are on the rising tide with all the boats around you, those are your peers. Those are the people that are going to check you if you're in a bad way. Whereas like there are certain people who have been in the like I think Leafy's here is a good example of this. You know, he shot up out of nowhere, became the big top dog, passed even Keemstar at that point, and then got a big head about it, you know, and then started trying to sling his audience, trying to do all these things. And that was really his downfall. If he had friends around him, if he still like had everybody cool with him and was able to take some criticism, that wouldn't have happened. Like he would still be a person that's around today, but because of, you know, because of that lack of ability to just like be wrong, you know, like that's why I make the tweet. Like it's stupid and dumb, but like the Kingdom Hearts quote, "My friends are my power." Like I believe that 100%. Like I want to be challenged by my friends. Like I see a friend as somebody who is going to tell me, "Hey, dude, you're doing wrong here. Like you're fucking up. You got to do better." You know, but these people don't have that around them. Like I don't think the S&T has that.
No.
Well,
They don't.
but to your point there though, Max, people nowadays seem to they only put you as a friend if you 100% mirror or agree with what I say. If you have a disagreement with me, if you call me on my bullshit, you're not my friend. You have to agree with me on everything.
I mean, that's a clone. Like I don't
That's
know what you
exactly.
like in that person at that point.
Yeah,
Like it's just
exactly.
you.
If
Exactly.
if you don't have people in your life that check you, right, then you wreck yourself. I mean, it's like that funny little saying, right? Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
You have to have people in there to you go to say, listen, I'm thinking about whatever it is, X, Y, and Z. That person has to have the freedom, if they're truly your friend, they have to have the freedom to say, listen, X is okay, Y and Z, yeet that shit. It ain't no good. That's
Right.
stinking thinking. Maybe look at it like this. You say, oh, okay, yeah, I see that. And you don't take it as an affront. You don't take it as, oh, you're attacking me personally.
Right.
And that,
And even so, even if I get told I'm doing something wrong, I might get mad at you for like 5 minutes, but then I'll come
Yeah.
back and go, okay, you were right.
yeah,
Well,
You know.
it's different strokes for different folks with that too. Because I'm the same way. Like if I have an emotional outburst about something, it's 5 minutes, flash in the pan, and then it's gone.
Yep.
You know, and that's how I just process with it. You know, some people it's different. Some people they're like, oh yeah, well, like whatever, like in the moment, and then like a month later they're just like, well, fuck that guy. It's like I don't know.
Well, and here's my thing.
You got to
too.
know yourself.
People throw around the word friend way too much.
Oh,
Way too much. Or
yes.
they put
Yeah.
too much heaviness into it. Listen, if you are really my friend, I have told you something like deep about my life.
Yeah.
Okay? Like as in friend. Like not friendly, but friend. And my friends, the ones that I can cry to, the ones that I can get emotional with, those people, I expect them to check me when I'm wrong. My best
Yeah.
friend, my ride or die Skip, she was in the chat earlier. My ride or die Skip, let me tell you something. Woo! Let me step out of line and do something dumb. She'll be like, girl.
Yeah.
Girl. All she has to say is girl. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I fucked up, didn't I?
Yeah, your friends will cut you the deepest, and you'll appreciate it the most.
Yes,
you know?
because I know what they're telling me isn't bullshit, and they're not kissing my ass. I don't want a bunch of people to kiss my ass. I
Yeah.
want people around me that will not only hold me accountable but lift me up at the same time, just like
That's
I would
right,
do
Queen.
them.
You know, you're spitting mad facts for the Queen. So, hey, everybody out there, for the mad facts for the Queen, can you guys smash that like button really quick? We got 49 people watching, but only 32 likes. Come on, y'all. We can
But
get a few more for people.
I also think that dragging it back, to the small commentary people, right? It's kind of like I get what they're trying to imitate, right? This confidence that you see in your larger creators, right?
Right.
Because you're never going to be a successful YouTuber if you don't believe you're the best,
That's true.
right?
You're
It's like
right.
that. It's like that with everything in life. If you do not believe that you are doing the best that you can at the moment, right? But then there's also the flip side of that, which is it's a weird thing. You have to believe you're the best, but at the same time look to improve to maintain the best. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have to. So maybe your videos aren't the best right now, right? Or the way that you talk, or the way that your weight. You can apply this to anything in life, right? Maybe it's not the best right now, but you have to believe in that best version of yourself.
Yes.
You can't plateau. Yeah, you plateau, you die.
And I think a lot of the rage that I see is it's like moral grandstanding in a sense, because it's kind of saying I am better than you, right? Which may be true, but then you need to prove it, right?
Yeah,
and
proving
then
it
make
isn't words, it's actions.
I mean,
and make your a guy like Leafy went on to his onto his stream, onto his videos and stuff, and he acted with such confidence, right?
Mhm.
But it's because he knew he was the best in the business, and he proved it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Like I always said, YouTubers, we are all not. It wasn't narcissists that I use. We're all attention seekers. Obviously, I'm not putting shit up on the internet, and I'm not going live or putting up videos for nobody to watch. Obviously,
Yeah.
we want attention.
Yeah.
Every single YouTuber wants attention. Okay, but you got, like you said, you need to have that confidence. And it's taken me a while to get the confidence. Then my confidence went back. Now I'm back again. I'm
Well, and
confident enough to do my second channel.
Yeah, it's a con game,
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but like that's all what entertainment is. I mean, in film school, that's what they teach you incessantly. Is just like everything you think is real is not real. In order for you to make a proper show, there is a level of veneer that has to go over top of everything. So that's the other problem too, is that this medium that we're in, YouTube, like it is. You have to have confidence in your creators, otherwise you're not going to watch them. Like all you've really got at the end of the day on YouTube is your relatability. If you don't have that anymore, then the audience is going to leave you, or at least it's not going to be as big as it could be, or it's not going to grow in the same way.
True fact. You're not wrong, sir. Now don't get a
Oh,
big head
it's
because I
like
said you weren't wrong.
I'll use myself. I'll use myself as an example, right? Applying my logic, right? I believe I am genuinely funny, right? I know that about myself, right?
Funny looking.
And so modest.
That too.
Yes.
No, but I know I'm funny,
Very modest.
right? I know I'm funny. It comes from being bullied in middle school, right? Gave me personality.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, yeah, I know I'm funny, right? I know that I'm funnier than most of you, to be honest, right?
Oh.
But that doesn't. But that doesn't mean that I am the best comedian in the world. Do you know what I mean? It's like I can always improve. Like if I really cared that much, I could sit there and before we go live or something, like if I were looking to improve, I could go there and write jokes out and little quips that I'm gonna say or something like that. But I'm lazy. So I just rely on the natural surge that comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And then again, the other thing is, I know I'm funny, so I don't care if you think I'm funny or not.
Right. Well, that's the confidence. That's
really
confidence.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I hate to do this, but I have got some things I've got to get done before the Mighty Miss Riv gets home.
Nobody cares. Just stay here, stay live for another 7 hours. Come on, people.
I can't. I'm sorry. The conversation has been very stimulating, and I think there's been a lot of things that I think is good to listen to, and I've heard some different perspectives, and I'm looking at things maybe a little bit differently, and I always value that, because one thing that I definitely know as I've gotten older, I don't know half as much as I think that I do.
That's wise. That's being wise.
And
That's what that means. That's what Beavers was saying too, and
Yeah.
I 100% believe that. Intelligence is the ability to be able to know that you are not the smartest person in the room. You are not the smartest person on
No.
the planet. There's always somebody better than you, and if they don't exist, they will exist.
And as far as having people, it's very important. The takeaway that I think that everyone needs to watching this live stream or the VOD afterwards, takeaway is you have to have somebody in your most inner circles that is not going to be a yes person to you. That they have the freedom to tell you when your shit stinks, right? To go wipe your ass, take
Yeah.
care of business as it is. You have to have that. If you're blessed and fortunate enough, you will have several people. I'm blessed because I have a lot of people that tell me when my shit's messed up. First and foremost is my wife. She always getting me, straighten me out. But then I've got people online that I go to that I ask for their opinions. And those I know they come at me harsh, but they come in love. And as long as you understand that and you know that, then you have I think you have the capacity, then you have the heart to receive it and say, okay, yeah, what you're doing, yes, okay, I see what you're saying. Yes, I don't want to hear it. I don't like hearing it, and sometimes it pisses me off. But then I have to go, yeah, okay, I come back and say, yeah, I was thinking about what you said, and yeah, you're right. And it's a bitter pill to swallow, and it's a big pill sometimes to swallow. But I think ultimately, if you want to be successful in life, not necessarily, I don't care necessarily about YouTube being successful in YouTube, whatever, but just to be successful in life, as to be a successful human being, you have to be able to swallow those bitter pills and say, okay, yeah, that is a part of my life I need to deal with. I need to cut it out because it's not good for me, right?
Right.
And so that's the takeaway I think from today. I hope you guys were entertained. Remember to continuously commission these artists that we have out in the community. You don't necessarily have to make Matt Pitt art. You can do Beavers. You can do D-Max.
Yes.
No,
Beavers.
We've seen Xylee. I was very impressed with the Xylee.
I can't believe that I got a stray out of this. That
I
wasn't
can.
supposed to happen. That was not in my bingo card.
Wait,
Doesn't
what
matter.
happened?
Oh yes, they had the Xylee. Where is it at here?
Oh, who did that? What is this?
Where is it? Yes, this
Is
here.
that
One
what
of our artists.
you commissioned it?
What? Oh,
That
I don't
was
even know what you're
you.
talking about.
That was you because you were talking about it last night, trying to be a
What?
little cheeky.
Oh, that's right. He was
What?
talking about, wasn't he, Xylee?
What?
I remember that.
What? I don't even know what you're talking about.
And the simple
Listen.
fact that the way your voice is going high with the
What?
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 You done
No, you're
told on
crazy.
yourself.
Girl, you crazy.
Okay.
Is that
Okay,
that
Matt.
is that gaslighting voice you were talking about, Xylee?
Yes, that's the gaslighting stuff.
Oh.
I'm inheriting it from Matt. What? No. I
Yeah,
don't even
Matt
what
does
are you
it
talking
too.
about?
Listen, y'all are all starting to sound the same. I can tell when y'all are gaslighting me. Believe me, Corey gaslights me all the time when we're playing Destiny.
I just think that Squatchin did a really good job, okay? That's all I'm saying.
I think you commissioned.
It was worth my money.
Okay, my question is, which one did you commission? The gender bend or the great?
The world may never know.
Which one did you commission, D-Max? Because I have a feeling it was the grapes, knowing you.
You know, you
Are
put me
you
in an
saying that his gays are
interesting position.
flamboyant?
No, that is not what I'm saying.
I think that's homophobic.
I would
think
never
he needs
try
some
to.
hell up.
I would never try to harvest the grapes of wrath with you, dear Queen Xylee.
Okay, you answered it. Okay.
No, it wasn't. I did not. It wasn't me.
All I'm going to say is I swore the person's secrecy that commissioned the artwork of Xylee feeding grapes to Matt, and that is a secret that I will take to my grave.
That's all right. You gonna take it to your grave, all right? Uh-huh. Don't you worry there, bucko.
Does that mean it was Peepaw that did that one?
Might have been.
Shooters everywhere. Bang, bang.
You know what?
Shooters
That's
everywhere.
okay.
Bang,
Shooters
bang.
everywhere. Bang bang.
Bang, bang.
I'm getting every single one of y'all.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
So,
Duck and cover.
Squatchin says, Zali, that one wasn't Max, I promise.
Wait, which one? The
Ooh.
gender bin or the grape?
The grapes, I think. I think she means the
Okay.
grapes.
Yeah.
I need no.
I don't know who did them.
I need names.
I can't
Name
comment.
and shame.
I can't
See, but
comment.
now you know how Matt feels. How does it feel to have the shoe on the other foot, though? I think that's rather interesting, right?
Yes.
That, like, you know, the deep
Oh.
fakes are coming out. Like, does it feel good having like a sexy alt gender character of yourself?
You
Like,
know what?
how's that feel?
I'm not a pussy like Matt. I think it's wonderful, and I think my ass looks sexy as a man. Thank you very much.
Well, I agree.
As a pussy.
D-Max, you know what's wonderful about being in our recording?
What?
Right? You can just run your fucking mouth because you know you got like 5 other people that are going to come.
Unless it's Xylee, and Xylee will come for every single one of you.
Oh, God.
We got so many members, we can just tire you out. You'll eventually get tired.
It's a rope-a-dope, yeah.
Hate y'all.
But you know, I think the biggest ace up their sleeve has to be me, right? Because I
Why?
have
What?
Dave. I got Dave, the copious.
And you act like I'm
King.
scared of you and Dave. Oh, can I show y'all something?
Yeah.
May I share my screen with you?
We could try. My OBS is locked up.
Oh
Piece
no.
of crap. So I'm thinking about to uninstall OBS and reinstall it. And but I really don't want to rebuild the scenes out. I hope I can back it up. They'll let me back up my stuff. So God.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Hold on. Save image. All right. I gotta show you this. Riv, I'm gonna send this to you.
Okay.
You have got to see this. I know you're trying to leave, but I have got to show you this. Where the hell are you at, Riverter? Okay, there you are.
I'm right here.
Oh my God. Well, the picture with me feeding the grapes has been fixed.
Oh.
Oh?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, man, I hope I can. I'll share it here. I don't know if it's going to let me. It won't even let me change scenes. I can't do anything. This piece of this software is pissing me off. But yeah, that is.
Oh my God.
That's got him like. Is that like a collar?
Yep.
Oh man. He's in a gimp suit.
Let me go to Twitter.
I think
wonder
so.
if,
Twitter.
I think so. Yeah, that's good. I don't know who did it, but
You know, Riverter, at the beginning of the stream, right? You brought up that thing about how we domesticated dogs and now we pick up their shit,
yes,
right?
yes.
I feel like that's happening with women. They want to domesticate us and break us down, but ultimately, I think we're just going to end up being like pampered poodles.
Well, hey, I'm okay with that too.
I'm down
right?
for that. I'm down for
You
that.
know? Maybe it'd be nice having the shoe on the other foot.
Oh God. Well, listen, guys, I do appreciate you. I would normally show all your stuff, whatever, but like I said, OBS has quit responding. What I will tell you is this: Zali has got a new video out on her Zali reacts or a reality with Zabby. I'm sorry, yeah, reality with
Xylee. Yeah.
Yep. She's got the MILF Manor season 1, episode 3. I've got to watch that. I've watched all the rest of them. I haven't watched that show. Like, how do you watch like an episode or whatever? I haven't watched it, but I have watched it vicariously through your videos, and I find that show intriguing.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't understand how anybody sat back and said, you know, let's create a reality show where we have these older women who are single on an island, and we're going to bring these young guys that are into these older women. They want the cougar experience, whatever, right? And just as a twist, let's just have their sons be these young men that come on, because what are the odds that these boys I really think it kind of puts them in a light to like maybe they got some mommy issues if they're really going after these older women like that.
Well, you know that one song, the I'm a mother lover, you're a mother lover, we should fuck each other's mothers, fuck each other's
Wait,
mothers.
that's a song?
Oh yeah, that was a Lonely Island song. I think it was with Justin Timberlake. I think sang it too.
Oh Lord, I'm
It's
not
a good
familiar with
song.
that one. I don't know
It's a
about
good
all that,
song.
Max. I don't know about
It's
all
the
that.
sequel to Dick in a Box. You guys know that song.
Yes.
Dick in a Box, babe. It's
Yeah.
the sequel to that. Yeah, if you've
Oh.
never seen it, it's
okay.
really funny.
All right, well,
Oh.
I'll check that out. You can find Beavers on the and Max D-Max now recording podcast.
Go support Now Recording. We're really close to 1,000 subscribers. Everybody.
Yes, go
Yes.
help Now Recording. They're
Oh, you sound so
great
you sound so animated,
guys.
Xylee.
They're
Yes, that's
so
right.
awesome.
Go subscribe to Now
Yay.
Recording. Xylee Queen has told you to do so, so you must.
You can also find D-Max over on twitch.tv/ is it
D underscore Max underscore HS. Yeah. Over on Twitter too. Twitter's probably the best thing to do. And then that way
Yes.
you can see all the good stuff. By the way, Xylee, I saw that you pinned the breaking news. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
That thing was so I had to pin it. I had to.
That was
It was
very
Well, there
so
might be more
funny.
coming at some point because I got or rather my news team has been sifting through some some news that we've been trying to filter out to try to see. I don't want to get ahead of any breaking stories or anything, but there might be more of that coming. So we'll see.
Your news team has a chronic video game addiction. I doubt it will come out soon.
I'm part of that chronic
News
gaming
team?
addiction.
Oh, gaming
just saying.
addiction? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not cool enough to be on people's news team or have a news team.
Yeah.
At this point, I feel like I'm the only person who doesn't have a news team or someone helping me, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Except for I have an
Self-made
editor.
one.
I do have an editor.
You have an
What?
editor? Yeah.
Yeah. Jaden
Well,
helps me out. with
Rivy
it.
has to go.
Oh, my
On this,
rival.
Rivy's
go.
gonna
I
rip
have
his
to-
penis off.
No, I'm not gonna rip my penis off. I may catch
No,
a beating
she's
from
gonna
the
rip your
wife.
penis off.
I wish she'd rip my penis off. Ooh,
Oh
God.
God. Okay, I'm leaving. Goodbye. I'm hanging up.
Riverter,
Goodbye.
you're too old.
Goodbye.
You're too old to say that.
Why am I too old for that? I don't understand.
It just doesn't sound right coming out of people's mouths.
Oh well.
Right.
Listen, old people have sex. I got news for you guys. So,
Oh boy, Mighty
Anyway.
Mrs. Riff has a good grip, I'm sure.
oh, it's a mighty grip. What do you think I call
Ah!
it?
Okay, all right, now I'm gone. Thanks, Riff. Bye.
Thanks. All right, thanks, Beavers. Thanks, Max and Xylee. Appreciate all you. Appreciate everybody that tuned in today. You guys all have a great day. Take care and keep your powder dry. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to do my normal ending and stuff and play the music and what have you because it's being stupid. But anyway, I'm gonna try, but I don't think it'll work. Let's see. Is it gonna work? Probably not. But anyway, take care, and I'll see you in the funny papers.